And good morning, everyone. It is that time of the day on Sunday. And I'm joined today by Penn and Jim Max. What's up, everyone?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. So 2 weeks ago, I was the one that was sick. Now everyone else is sick.
Sparky's fault, see? Not mine.
Okay, it's Sparky.
No, I get sick. I transmit computer viruses. You shouldn't have gotten sick. No,
so when
today,
I put my computer in sleep mode, is that when that happened, Sparky?
I don't know. No, for everyone who joined in has seen the show, I changed the intro music up today. I found a nice little song remix. Just is like I want to go ahead and try as a new intro, and it actually fits pretty good. Man Squats likes it. It looks like.
Good morning, Samaj.
Good morning.
Morning.
And we have a sneaky Samaj sneaking in this morning. What's up, man?
It's fine. Just starting my morning, having my coffee. How about you guys?
Coffee, waffles, trying not to die because I got the disease either from Sparky or from Jim Max.
What kind of disease are we talking about here?
Corona.
The one.
You got the woo flu?
Sickness.
You got the woo flu. Did you eat any bats?
What the fuck? I'm sorry, ask your question again because Sparky was rude enough to interrupt you.
Oh, I was just asking if you had any bat soup.
I'm gonna say no.
It's probably a wise choice. So let's see who we got in chat. We got Manscrotch, Ghost Dog, Jim and Penn. And that's it for now. Well, everyone that's actually typing in chat.
Yeah.
I think Manscrotch is secretly Antoine because that was actually his first Mega Man game was Mega Man 3.
Hi, Benny C.
Hey,
How you
man.
doing?
Hey, man, Squatch. Hey, Ghost Dog. What's up?
And the Benny C. Don't forget the Benny C.
Benny C.
Benji.
Benji.
But I call him Benny C. No, not Benji.
Benji. Come home, Benji. Come home.
Come home, Benji. Come home.
Benji. So I like Ben Hurd, but with just,
No.
No. We gotta play this. We gotta play his theme song.
God damn it.
Yeah. Antoine really seems to be Mansquatch's able twin, according to him. Yeah. If you missed it, back over a year ago, Antoine decided to challenge Starwind to a race to see who can beat the game first. Oh, yeah, you remember that, don't you?
I remember that.
Yeah.
And Antoine had kind of a disability, like certain other people out here.
Ah, bitch! Get out the way! Get out the way, bitch! Get out the way!
Seem to have that little
really
bit of
loud
problem.
But no, we had fun. Like I always say, me and someone took a little bit too far. But yeah, it was a fun game to play. Racing someone.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. Until we decided to secretly try to play Mega Man 2 to see if we could beat Mega Man 2 before he could beat Mega Man 3 after we already beat it. He didn't like that too much. Mansquatch asks a question. That was the voice actor who does Piccolo in the Dragon Ball Z Abridged, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Alright, so how's everyone else's week been? I can tell you mine has been fucking slammed.
Has it? What have you done? Why?
Walk.
Oh, that kind of slam.
A lot of fucking walk.
Well, hey, you gotta pay the bills.
Yeah, I do. And like I said, I'm still trying to find a secondary job, so we got slammed at work this week, and like, overtime's open. I'll take all of it.
Well, I mean, well, you gotta bring in all the money as you can, because you gotta remember you have a kid on the way.
No, I don't.
You will soon.
You will soon. Papa Sparky's gonna be a thing.
There is no bun in the oven. The oven is not working at the moment.
Not with that attitude. You fucking got.
Hey, you can make it all work. All right.
Oh boy. So
no, but we've had trucks in the shop that had weird ass fucking issues this whole week. So I've been busy diagnosing and all that good shit. I ended up having to walk this Saturday. And usually it's walking 8 to 4 on Saturdays. This Saturday I walked 4 to 6.
The fuck?
Well, we were slammed, like I said, and they had a whole bunch of other trucks that they promised out that they wanted out of the shop. But I was also in the middle of diagnosing 3 other trucks, trying to figure out what they were to get a repair plan going. So I went in early to finish up those trucks, then walk on everything else that they had in.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a Renslayer. What's up,
In
man?
other news.
In other news. So what's
Apparently,
your guys...
first American dies of the coronavirus.
No.
But in Wuhan.
No. Well, it's funny how everybody who seems to die in a communist country with lack of medical facilities, and NyQuil and Sprite.
well, did they die in one of those? I want to call them concentration camps, but they're called quarantine camps.
Concentration hospitals. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, they're not even. I saw the Mr. America doing a video. He shared a video that was taken in one of those things. They have no medical facilities. There's a guy saying you are in quarantine. There are no medical treatments, no medicine. Your food will be rationed, and you're not leaving. So I don't know. And so there were people. Thank God for VPNs. People inside with cell phones. They couldn't find a bathroom. There's no bathroom in there. There is a bathroom on the other side of the wall. That's it. And the woman who was taking the video, she was like, I haven't gone to the bathroom in 2 days, and I need to go so bad. I thought that's ridiculous.
No, it's communism. That's about right.
Yeah.
It's like this.
The Holocaust Museum? Leave that be. No one will deny what we did.
There you go.
Damn. So, Penn, stay away from Dale.
I have no intention of going to China at all.
I have a Chinese friend, and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go to China in April for vacation." I'm like,
"Yeah, no, you're not.
You're not, because they ain't flying anybody over there anymore."
Yeah. He still thinks it's gonna happen. And I'm like, well, I mean, I appreciate your optimism, but you ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, he could go there if he wants, but he ain't coming back.
Well, you would say that, but I live in Canada, and our government is incredibly stupid. I think it was like 8 flights come in from people from Wuhan, and they didn't get screened. So, I mean,
monkeys.
It's like the roach trap commercials. Roaches check in, but they don't check out.
Feels that way.
You know what? I wonder if you can get that game. What is it? Virus Simulator. I can't remember what it is, but it's seen a couple other people play it. But you create a virus and see how far it spreads. I wonder if somebody can recreate the symptoms.
And you can mutate it and stuff.
Oh, that Plague Inc. I have that game.
Yeah,
I haven't played it, but I have it.
I wonder if somebody can input the parameters of what this virus does and where it's located at and see what happens.
Oh, it's going to show we're all going to die. It's only... I give it a year, we're all going to die.
No, me and you are fine, Pen. We've already been sick. We're immune to this disease now.
I thought they said that you could get reinfected.
You can, but it won't be as bad.
Ah. Okay.
Mascot says, I wonder how many Chinese restaurants are getting shit for selling Corona beer.
You know, it's funny. It's the map. They have one of the maps on the Play game. Mm-hmm. And the first map it shows is the infection started in China.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, it's almost like they knew.
So there seems to still be conflicting information whether this was a flu because of snake, don't step on snake, or that this is a biological warfare weapon.
Well, I'll tell you this much. The Americans have said that they wanted to send a team in there to help China, but they refuse, which is strange because you would think that they would appreciate the help, and they definitely need it.
So we've already got a cure for it, essentially, a treatment, but China's not even treating their people. They're just kind of like, here's a pair of dice, roll it, and we'll see your percentile.
Well, okay, so there was a series of events that went on the last couple of years, both in Canada and the United States, where apparently Chinese students in various different schools and universities that were studying diseases apparently stole samples and sent them, and they were caused spies. Now, here in Canada, Justin Trudeau, being an idiot, decided to let them go with the virus, but said that you can't come back. So they got that. And as far as I can tell, in America, they also let them go because it was a Democrat thing and they were afraid of being listed as racist or whatever the nonsense is. So, I mean, they have viruses. And they do have a facility there in Wuhan that studies them. So it's entirely possible that they took this.
So. Oh, that we took it and
No, the Chinese took it, and we just both America and Canada, we just let them go. Because it'd be racist if we detained them. Of course, here in Canada, there's probably a reason why we did that is because we have those officials from Huawei that we have imprisoned. So, trying to.
At least take the plague away from the virus away from them. I mean, goddamn.
It's entirely possible that the reason why they're not letting Americans come in to help them is because they're going to go in there, they're going to get samples of the virus, they're going to study it, and find out that it came from them.
We already have samples of the virus. We already know what it is.
Well, yeah.
I mean, literally, we have like 12 cases of the literal flu of what it is, and we're not really. If it was something we were worried about, our government leaders would be like, "Yeah, this is horrible." The reason in China, this is a really, really like a super flu. Essentially, it's like probably the worst flu you could probably get right now. It's easily treatable with fluids, rest, and a lot of and some antibiotics. Things which are available in China, but not to everybody. And that's it.
Well, you gotta look at it like this. China is probably looking at it, hey, this is a way to take care of the overpopulation crisis.
That's probably true, too. The problem is with a population that big, there's a lot of chances for the virus to yeah, basically, yeah.
Well, they already said, some of them said this is probably going to be seasonal.
Oh, yeah.
And the virus can live off surfaces for 9 days, which is frightening to say the least.
That is a long ass time for a virus to.
I'll tell you this, all right?
Well,
yeah, I almost want to applaud and sit here and go, hey, all of you climate activists, there's your population reduction right there. Less production of pollution right there.
Think about
How dare you!
Greta's going to be happy.
How dare you!
Yeah, I know. How dare I? Oh my god.
But besides from that, what else is going on?
And besides that?
Well,
Besides that.
interspecies reviewers is not having a good time. That's for sure.
Oh yes, I seen stuff about that
Oh
this week.
God,
Well, it's more like because of how Funimation handled it, that it's not having a good time. I say that the animation is going to be just fine. Somebody else will pick it up. Somebody else will dub it.
Yeah, this
Well,
is more of a Funimation problem. This is not a show's problem. This is a
Wait.
production
So I want to bring this up. So what was Funimation's reasons why they dropped it?
It didn't meet their standards.
well,
Time
that's
out.
what they.
So this is a company that's also has dub shows called All You Need's a Sister. Or All You Need's
Yep,
a
about
Sister.
incest. Yep.
Yep. You have multiple shows that they have done that have gone way over the line.
Mm-hmm.
And this doesn't meet the standards, and it doesn't even show anything. Yeah, it's a lot of into windows and shit like that, and they go
Actually,
off in
well,
the room.
the Pornhub version does show stuff.
I can never have sex again.
That's
But I mean,
version.
but I
They'll
mean,
also,
but wait a minute. The Pornhub version though is still somewhat censored, but let's spare no bones about it. That's basic. They are doing what any other hentai or ecchi would do at this point.
I did see the uncensored version. Episode 3 in particular does cross a fair bit of lines, but there again, that's the uncensored version. So yeah, I was also going to say, like, in regards to this show, yes, another company could pick it up and redub it. But here's the thing: when Funimation bought the rights, they retain the rights, even though it's up to them whether or not they dub it and air it.
I thought they dropped the license.
I thought they dropped the license too.
I heard they dropped the license.
No, they didn't drop the license. They still have it. And part of the thing is, and the conspiracy theory is that the reason why they got it is so no one else can get it, because they'll still have it for 7 years. So
that there's going to be people who's going to fan dub it anyway. Fan dub and sub it anyways. If Funimation wants to come after them, it's like, well, fuck you guys.
If Funimation comes after them, they can come after them and get it taken down. However, I mean, if someone wants to fan dub it, great. But more likely, you're going to get fan subs of it, and that's what you're going to have to deal with for the next little bit. The other problem that went on, because apparently there was a reverberation going on. The channel that was airing it in Japan has also dropped it, which means that if it doesn't get aired onto another channel, there won't be any more episodes, because they live episode by episode. They get it by the ratings. That's how they pay their animators and the staff. If they can't air it, then there will be no more episodes.
So this was a show that was so risky. Even Japan was like, "No, we can't do this."
Well, we hear on this side of go, we only get so much. I mean, there's still other shows they air that's even more risky.
Yeah, really? Okay,
Yeah.
shit. So this, I mean, I heard it had a pretty good cult following over there.
It's the number 2 best anime right now. That's how popular it is.
Christ.
The
So
number
why
one-
would you
number
drop
one
it?
right now-
I mean,
Well, I
They
mean,
get a lot of backlash.
all right. Part of the reason why they probably dropped it, well, I mean, they didn't have to. I think they were worried because Funimation is already having some controversial issues. Involving
Some.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of rumors going around that these people are a bunch of degenerates and whatnot, and
yeah.
and there's probably some fear that this could have been used against them, because they might say, "Oh, it's not our standards. We have these standards. Funimation's a respectable company," and then you air a show like this. It's like, well, how much standards do you have, really?
Yeah,
But that's just it. Unfortunately, they already have a back catalog of animations that they could use. One in particular that had been called out was Pantyhose and Stocking,
Well, I think
especially for Vic's trial. Yeah.
Well, you will. Well, they probably. I think the argument was that all that was before the Vic stuff. Like you can say, like right now, you can sort of say, "Oh yeah, we're a respectable company. Look at us now."
No, but
look at us now.
But here's the thing. The whole argument with
look
that.
At us now.
The whole argument with that was that Funimation is a company that supposedly has no hugs or kisses on work property, yet you are producing you're producing or redubbing shows that are basically over hypersexualized, and you expect people not to hug and kiss in the workplace, even in a friendly manner, not a completely platonic. And then all of a sudden now, here comes interspecies reviewer. That's basically hypersexualized activities. It's like, yeah, you have no leg to stand on. You have no leg to stand on. Try again.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see how things play out, but yeah, there's a lot of conspiracies going on as to why they did this. Again, this is like the second most popular show right now. So why? What's going on? So yeah, no one's happy. Everyone's confused. And Funimation will not answer any questions about this. They made their statement, and that's it. So all we have to go on are conspiracy theories at this point.
In other news, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was just saying that, like, I'm having fun doing all the conspiracy theories because the imagination will go. It's like they're probably doing this, probably doing that, and it just it's snowball out of control.
You're right. It's right.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and share something. I'll let's see if I can do this properly. I want to stream live. There we go.
Alright, let's see what you got here.
Yeah, let's see what you got. What you got, man? What you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and.
Oh yeah, I saw part of his vid. Yep.
Yeah, this came out yesterday. So let me go ahead and get open the window capture. Now I need display capture. And we're gonna go through and play some of his video and just listen.
Speaking of which, if you happen to like his content, please go and subscribe to him because we're totally not trying to steal his content from him.
Yeah, go watch him. He's actually pretty.
Oh, did we forget to say fuck you to kids too?
Yeah. Fuck you kids, fuck you kids, fuck you kids.
Alright, here we go.
Canceling things like oil and water. They don't mix, but the difference is your boy's the oil and I come out on top. So today, I'm gonna flex so hard on Funimation.
Why does he sound like a cross between Sparky and
why they dropped interspecies.
PewDiePie?
They didn't say, oh, it's because it's controversial and we don't want people pissed at us and we also have no balls. No, that's not what they said because they have no balls. Instead, they said it falls outside of the standards of Funimation. To which I, of course, said with my maniacal evil mind, God, you're giving me content here. So are you saying that everything that's on Funimation technically is something that falls inside your standards? If your standards is what's making whatever anime legal on your site, well, that would mean everything that goes on in every other anime you license falls within the standards of Funimation. They are 100% Funimation approved and a moral compass for us all. If something happens in an anime licensed by Funimation, it means Funimation fundamentally agrees with whatever's happening. Am I reading between the lines too much just to make a huge flex? Yes, absolutely. And I'm doing it anyway because it's going to be a ton of fun because I put together a little list. I don't want to go through every single anime and every single scene ever, but I wanted to go through a few of the anime that Funimation's standards agree with. Even Vote the Rat! I'm going to flex you to oblivion. Definitely subscribe for future amazing beef that I have with massive, powerful and I guess I should probably say this. This video is mostly satire. Don't actually get upset at Funimation and write them death threats or whatever. None of that. They just dropped an anime because they're pussy. That's literally all that happened, okay? Everyone has the right to be a pussy, okay? So, full disclosure, I'm not upset at them. They just have no balls. The first anime I would like to discuss that falls into Funimation standards. Yes, I feel like this is a wonderful place to start. It's an anime titled A Sister Is All You Need.
No, God.
I am so happy and proud of this outlet. Thank you all for being here, because welcome to the rabbit hole. For those of you who don't know what A Sister Is All You Need is actually about, it's about a love story between a dude and his sister, okay? Not in the Ora Emo meme way, but like in the much more legit way. The opening scenes to this show is a dude who's like sniffing his sister's underwear and bathing in a bath of like his sister's breast milk or or so. You may think that I am exaggerating, but I
Ew.
am in fact not even close to exaggerate. It's been a while, so I don't remember exactly what went on. I didn't finish this show. I could not get past episode 1 because I may appreciate cringe, but there's certain levels of cringe.
I can never have sex again!
Funimation can enjoy them. I am so evil. I remember when I described this anime on our anime podcast. Yes, I have an anime podcast. I don't really announce it because, well, I don't know. It just
Go
doesn't
join that
happen. Link
podcast
is in the
also.
description to the Rant Cafe podcast. Rant Cafe is the name of the YouTube channel where we upload our podcast every week. It's a lot of fun. A lot of anime. You can YouTuber guys get together, upload podcasty stuff, talk about random anime shiz. It's a ton of fun. Check it out. And in one of those episodes, I describe in great detail the opening scenes. So a sister is all you need, to the absolute horror of the other co-hosts of the podcasts that were absolutely flipping out when I was describing that this is an actual anime series. That, by the way, fun fact and random tangent, completely falls into the standards of Funimation. Funimation is basically telling you that this is normal and that this is what we should all do in our everyday life. Yes, Funimation, I am going to ride this meme. Funimation also has an anime, Absolute Duo, where a dude gets stuffed into a room with a basically mentally handicapped girl that proceeds to get naked everywhere. It has another anime called Akiba's Trip the Animation, which is, by the way, fun fact, a bit of a heated discussion if it's supposed to be Akiba's Trip or Akiba Strip, because it's about a bunch of people walking around the Akiba district and stripping people in public. They have something called Azure Lane, which is about waifus that turn into boats. You know, boats are objects, so is the standards of Funimation objective?
The objectification of women.
Going too far, no way. They also have another show that this one sounds completely normal on the outside, but on the inside it's abhorrent. It's called Bikini Warriors. It's literally these elite warriors that walk around in bikinis and fight evil, and they get captured all the time, and it's borderline Gientioi with the tentacle rapishes that goes on. And not that I know this, because it's not like I've ever watched Bikini Warriors or anything, no, but it's on Funimation, so that type of stuff definitely falls into Funimation standards. When Funimation thinks warriors, they think bikini. They have Cat Planet Cuties, which is about a planet of cats that like schmacks. Very cool. They have a show called Freezing because, well, it is so cold in this show, you can see the outline of every single girl's nips. Very cool. Freezing. Extremely cool. They have a show called Are You Willing to Fall in Love with a Pervert as Long as She's a Cutie? Which, again, I watched the first episode a while ago. It was this ultimate thriller drama about a dude who opens his locker, finds a pair of panties, and then goes on like an adventure trying to figure out who put their panties in his locker. It's definitely out there. They have Ikitosen, which is about warring schools that when they get into these epic fights, they punch each other so hard, all their clothes tear, and all of a sudden, bam, all the women's are naked. No, the dude's clothes, they don't tear, but the women's clothes, they're just made with a different kind of fiber. They have a show called Keijo. For those of you that don't know what Keijo is, it's about the greatest sport in all of anime. No, it is not the greatest sports anime. The greatest sports anime, my personal opinion, Haikyuu. Without a doubt. I love Haikyuu. Hajime no Ippo in second place, but hey, that's just me. Keijo is the best sport. It's a sport where women are walking on these floating platforms and must manage to, like, sumo wrestle each other off the platforms to fall into the water. Sounds great, right? It's like sumo wrestling, except they can only use their breasts and butts. That is correct. With their breasts and butts combined, they must out-wrestle their adversaries. And of course, they have all these amazing...
I'm pretty sure there's something like that in Dead or Alive.
Allies onto the stage to fight alongside them. And the vacuum butt cannon, which releases an incredibly wave of power from the posterior to attack the adversaries. We also have the clone jutsu, where, like, oh my god, her boobs are so powerful, they look like a second butt. Extremely deep stuff. The philosophy is fantastic in Keijo. Definitely a must-watch for everyone. And this kind of sport that may seem objectifying to you, it's not, actually. It's definitely part of Funimation's standards, because this is the type of thing that we need to promote. They have My First Girlfriend is a Gal. Now, this is a very well-known show. All the girls are crazy, and they all fall in love with these weebs, and they manage to, like, blackmail each other into remaining boyfriend and girlfriend. There's some weird plot points, but nothing is quite as weird as the best friend of the main character, who's a straight-up pedophile. Like, I am not sugarcoating it even a little. The guy straight up keeps saying, oh, I like younger girls, especially if they're a younger sister. This is the best friend of the main character, and he says that throughout the entire show. And you know what I think every time I see that guy? Damn. Definitely within Funimation's standards. Thank you, Funimation, for paying paving the way for a whole new generation of really creepy dudes. They also have prison school, which is a school where the dudes are treated as prisoners, and despite that, it's the women who get objectified and stuff. It's a very, very not sexist at all anime that falls within the standards of Funimation. It is hilarious, though, so I guess comedy makes all that stuff okay, which should mean interspecies reviewers can come back to Funimation, but no! That falls out without Funimation standards, yeah! We have a lovely anime called Shimoneta, a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes...
Oh, I remember watching Shimoneta. I loved that one.
Terrorists. And you're probably thinking, wow, terrorists fall into the standards of Funimation? No. I'm not even talking about action anime or drama anime or any of that stuff. I'm only in the ecchi genre right now. And this terrorist organization are terrorists that are trying to send Prawn to the deepest, darkest reaches of society. Because in this dystopian reality where pornography is actually illegal, it is all up to the main character and his group of terrorists to spread knowledge of schmexy things to everyone. And as far as interspecies reviewers goes with like the actual schmex, this describes it in a much better fashion for those of you that have no experience but are interested in the biology aspect. They also have a show called Space Dandy, and Space Dandy is one of the greatest shows if you like watching a chauvinistic dude like boobs. Now, that may sound like I'm dissing Space Dandy, and I'm not, because Space Dandy is one of the greatest anime ever. I love Space Dandy. But to say that it falls within my standards, I don't know. Personally, it doesn't fall within my standards, but it does fall within the standards of Funimation. And I'm only talking from an ecchi standpoint here. They also have something like, you know, Black Lagoon, which is talking about arms dealers. So do arms dealers fall into the standards of Funimation? They have Attack on Titan. Does overthrowing the government fall within the standards of Funimation? They have Bungo Stray Dogs, which is about mafia organizations. Does the mafia fall into the standards of Funimation? They have Code Geass, which is about terrorism. Does terrorism fall into the standards of Funimation? I mean, at this point, what are the standards of Funimation? Darling in the Franxx is literally effing your partner to pilot a robot. Dead Man Wonderland is where you're pulling kids out of school because of borderline criminal activities and having them fight each other to the death. They have Fire Force. Have you seen the fan service in Fire Force? They have and they don't even pronounce it correctly. Everything that you want to say about interspecies reviewers, you'll not find anything actually illegal that goes on in there. I don't know what the standards are for Funimation at this point. Yes, I understand. They do allude to, you know, schmexy times, but A, they do not show any of it on screen, so it is not actually hentai. And B, it's all consensual. There's no actual murder. Tell me one illegal thing that happens in interspecies reviewer.
Oh my
I'm curious,
God,
what are the
this is-
standards of Funimation? I mean, they have
How-
incest shows, no problem. They have murder going on in half their anime, that's fine. They have Goblin Slayer, which has
Jesus
straight up
Christ, we're just
RAPE,
sitting here
which should be
listening.
outside
Not like
anyone's
content.
standards.
They're
Most
basically
talented
straight up
Latin
just
would
stealing
morally
at this
disagree
point.
with most of what goes on in Goblins.
He buries them.
Yeah, he does. He's just, yeah, God damn. We just sat there like, oh my God, he has a point. I mean, the only thing he didn't add in there
Big
was,
titted police girl.
I mean, that's the only thing he didn't throw in there. I mean, I'm sure there's a couple of those. I mean, I think they did do Hellsing, didn't they? Didn't they do Hellsing?
I
Was
don't
there somebody
know.
else?
I don't think.
Who did
Find
Hellsing?
out real quick.
Well, we can
Well,
do
I
it.
know that what was it, Pioneer, which then became Genion. They did the first series of Hellsing. I don't know who did Ultimate. I don't recall.
It's on the site, so.
Oh, it is? Okay, then I guess.
So they did. He left out the big titty police girl. There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, I seen that one yesterday. Is like he just fucking buries their own accusations. It's like, ugh.
Well, I mean, Funimation's not known for their big brains. Let's be honest here. They're not thinking very well on this stuff.
They've kind of been dying a slow death for a while, anyway. So no one's really too worried about them.
I mean, look, yeah, well, I mean, they've been prioritizing the titty animes for quite some time and ignoring all their other shows that made them money, like Dragon Ball. Like, I think, aren't they still like a season or so behind the Japanese release of Dragon Ball Super?
Well, they've been catching up because beforehand they were like 3 seasons behind before they actually started doing the dub on the movies, and then they started doing the movies and then quickly caught up.
Well, yeah, and then the movies made so much. Like Broly made so much money. It was like, what was it, almost $1 billion?
Broly was in like 10 theaters and made like a shit ton of money here in the U.S., which was.
And then I think they didn't they re-release it back in the theaters because it was so good. I mean, Broly, come on, that was a great movie.
You know what? We can look this up.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, like, they know that Dragon Ball is a popular franchise now, and that's probably why they're catching up, as they probably should. And besides, I bet the actors need to make as much money as possible before Vic comes over and takes it all from them. Not Vic. Yeah.
But no, with that whole thing going on, it's like, I just don't understand what they're doing. I mean, it's really not a show that I think I'd see. It's just...
Interspecies reviewers?
I really don't know. Yeah, I don't... like...
Okay, Broly was a $10 million project. It made $115 million worldwide. But it was only open like in a... It opened here in 1,200 figures and made $7 million. That's a lot of money for so few theaters.
Yeah.
That's true.
That is a quarter. That is a quarter of what Last Jedi opened in. I mean, it would have. Can you imagine if it had opened in like 4,000 theaters? How much money it would have made?
That's true. If they'd done that, they could have made so much money. I guess like part of the reason why this bleeds into the whole Dragon Ball thing is because they need to catch up. This is a money-making machine, and they're not doing it. They're prioritizing their titty animes.
But it did drop off pretty dang quickly. But
well, and I don't know how much that drop off was due to the Vic Mignogna stuff. So
yeah, it's hard to say. I don't think anybody really gave a shit, honestly.
Well, I think they're waiting for it to move past because they're hoping in a lot of ways it kind of has. People aren't talking about it as much as they used to, even though it's still going through and Vic's trying to appeal. So I mean, we'll probably hear about it soon.
Yeah.
Well,
and then the crazies on the internet will get back to going.
Well, everybody's like, well, his lawyer sucked and he sued for the wrong thing. I was like, no. They had to do that lawsuit first so they could get evidence, then they could sue for the main thing.
Yeah, once it hits discovery, then things are gonna really fuck up.
Use the first court is the first case is always for discovery, and if you win, you get lucky and win. That's cool too.
Well, one of two things is going to happen. Well, one of three things is going to happen. Either the appeals court is going to side with Funimation, and that's going to be the end of it. 2, the appeals court is going to agree with Vic, and they will go back to the original judge, and they will proceed forward with discovery. Or the appeals court grants, but before they get back to the original judge, Funimation then says, okay, fine, we'll settle.
Okay.
That has nothing to do then with what happens with Monica, Ron, and Jamie, because at that point it's like, Funimation has the most to lose. We already know that Monica and Ron are flat ass broke. That's why they're trying so hard to get the fees. Or they were trying so hard to get the fees. Or their attorney was trying to get the fees. Because Ron and Monica are not paying. Jamie, she'll probably like, fine, I'll settle with an apology. Is that what you want? Okay, shut up.
Yeah.
Funimation has the most to lose.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, they're not even getting any more work, are they? They're not getting anything.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They weren't fired.
Oh, I thought they just were. No, I didn't say they were fired. I was just hearing that they weren't getting any more voiceovers and shit because people.
Who said that?
Monica's doing Froppy, so I mean.
You know what? I should probably double check it. I think they were actually playing characters in the Interspecies Reviewers.
Sorry. Oh god. That would be.
I'm gonna be checking this.
That would be awesome. Awesome.
I need to double check. Actually, I'll let Sparky double check it. I want to know because I wouldn't be surprised because I'm pretty sure they're still getting plenty of work at Funimation.
Of course they are.
But
and then they and their little cronies over at Kick Vic are still like hashtag still fighters. Like, you haven't been paying attention, do you? You want to nag on this one little point. Bitches, he's still getting work, and he's still getting invited to the conventions. He might be not working for Funimation, but we found out at this point he doesn't have to, with your toxic fucking asses.
you know how many people jumped on him the second he was released from his Funimation contract? They're like, you have no proof, this is your bullshit, and everybody still loves him. Fuck off, we'll pay him. He got some sweet deals too, I hear. And Canada, they tried to get. Oh, did you see the emails that were sent to the Canadian Comic Con?
No, what?
No.
Jeremy did a thing on it yesterday from the Quartering. Apparently, I gotta look that up again on Jeremy. I was watching it last night, and they were like a whole bunch of Kick Vics were sending emails saying, "You know what this person did?" La la la. And they said, "Well, please send us emails about what he did, the police reports, the trials, and all this, and how he was found guilty." And they were like, "We did send you that email, and that email explicitly stated what he did." Yeah, but there was no, you didn't send us an email. There was no evidence that he did any crimes. You sent us pics, and that the people that said that what they did was perfectly fine, and posed with them, and the hug was accepted and agreed upon. So, what is the problem here? And then the last email they sent was like, "You can go to hell." And it was just like, Jesus Christ, they're fucking just not even trying anymore.
Alright, there's only 2 voice actors I can find right now. And that's Brittany Loda and Matt Shipman.
Okay. All right, so.
But those are the only 2 I can find.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think they ever did the English end credit scenes, so for the voice actors and the airspeed reviewers, so I guess I can't really look that up either. Oh well.
But yeah, it's kind of, this whole Kick Vic thing is just like, it's kind of just fading away. No one really the only people that care are the Kick Vickers, and everybody else is like, just fuck off. Just fuck off.
That's just it. They won't stop. I know what will make them stop.
It's not even, at this point, it's like wolf, 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 wolf. Okay, where's the fucking wolf? Wolf, wolf. And it's like, just, eventually these people are just going to get fucking eaten, and nobody's going to give a shit.
Eventually, but how long down the line is that?
Eventually, Vic will rape them. And everybody will be like, we don't care.
No, but that's just it. Is they don't stop.
Yeah.
And I'm half tempted to sit here and go, okay, how many of your fingers do I have to cut off one by one until you stop fucking lying?
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft, yes, of course.
Well, I think you're gonna see it after the election cycle, to where when Trump gets elected the 4th time, and everybody's just gonna be like, fuck it, just fucking wreak havoc on them, because what's gonna happen the day after the election or day after he's reinaugurated back into the presidency. Someone's gonna be like, scream something, and then everybody's just going like, fuck it, kill them all. We got a president who won't care. He'll be happy that they're gone. He might reward us.
No, those are the only 2 I can find.
Sad?
Service brings citizenship. There you go. That's going to be his motto afterwards.
Isn't that sad, though? Like, that's what it comes down to?
No, it kind of always has. Just never It's just never been this extreme before. Not for a while, at least.
I can't remember what it was. I was watching Nightbone, the new show GNF's doing. And
Nightburn. Yes.
Yeah, Nightbone. And Rogue had I believe it was Nemo. Max was supposed to be in, but he wasn't there. I was in the call, but I was muted just listening. And another girl, I can't remember what her name was, but I've never once seen Rogue have to go, yeah, you gotta have to tone it down just a little bit, because she was going off the wall about the whole fucking Vic shit.
I really wish I had seen this now, because who was this person who was going off the wall?
She's in the Discord, I know that much. Let me...
And for or against?
Against Kickfit.
Oh, against Kickvic, okay.
She's a Vic fan, and I guess she's met him a couple times. What was her name? I can't remember.
Not Gothic Sushi, would it be? And it would have been recent?
Yeah,
Let me see who recently joined.
It was the last Nightbone.
Last Nightburn. Well, we had an invasion of trolls recently, so... Raposa? Oh, wait a minute. I think I'm blocked by this person. I think I'm totally blocked by this person on the Twitter account that I don't have.
On the Twitter account you don't have?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Don't think too much about it.
Yeah, I can't remember her freaking name.
Let me find out.
But yeah, I was laughing my ass off because I've never once heard Rogue say, yeah, you need to tone it down just a little bit. Because she was ranting.
Yeah, Rogue is not one to tell people to tone it down. Which is kind of funny then.
I know, that's me and him ended up talking about it afterwards. But no, she made a very compelling case for Vic. Winslow says she was very animated.
Bum, bum, bum. Dramatic reverb.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was there watching it. It was on Twitch, so. But no, I'm probably, if I'm able to, I'm gonna start jumping into more streams on GNF. But I just gotta be home to do it.
Well, you know what that means, Sparky.
Service guarantees citizenship.
I'm sorry, this isn't Starship Troopers.
Not yet.
Hey, are you sure? Are you sure?
In Trump's America, it could happen. It could happen.
It could happen.
Except the aliens won't be bug-like. They're going to be yellow-skinned Chinese people on the main.
Yeah. Well, we've already got the co-ed showers,
and dresses.
So we got that covered.
Did you guys hear about Jordan Peterson?
No, he's kind of fallen off the map. What happened?
Ever since he had his little drug spat,
Yeah, he fell off the map because basically he was having adverse effects to the medication that he was given, which was causing him a physical dependency, physical and psychological, or just psychological dependency on the drugs, and the drugs were doing the opposite of what they were supposed to do, so they were making him worse, not better, in regards to the anti-anxiety and the stress and everything because of his
wife passing by?
His wife getting cancer.
Yeah.
So Peterson's daughter gave an update, like a 5-minute update the other day, saying, the healthcare system in America wasn't doing him any good, so we had to actually go over to Russia for an emergency detoxing. Because every time he tried to get off of it, it would just make things worse.
So Russia.
Yeah. They said she said that at some point he was damn near suicidal.
Yeah.
And he's recovering. He's doing better. He's smiling more and more every day. And that hopefully soon they'll be able to resume things as they were before. So
and it's not even like it was it wasn't like it was an opioid or anything. It was an actual
antidepressant, anti-anxiety. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people were trying to say for a minute, and it was only a quick minute. And whenever it was put out what kind of drugs it was oh, okay, well, you can't really claim that that's an addictive medication. I mean, it was more of a mental reliance than it was a physical reliance.
Well, it was kind of doing
both. Yeah,
both because the psychological does affect the physical.
Yeah.
So.
But it was kind of interesting just to hear about because I thought it was like, okay, he's high as an opiate dependent. Yeah, fucking everybody in Ohio does. So
right, no. This apparently
this is like, wow, I mean, imagine he has to be. If you look at him on camera and everything, he has to be almost perfect, 100% of the time because these people just, when he's on a news show, there's never seems like a moment where he can relax.
And remember the last major thing that they got on his case for was showing a bit of emotion when he was talking to. There was another guy that he was talking to in regards to all of this, and he's like, just the constant barrage of negative comments on the internet, it takes a toll on you, man. And I mean, like, it's surprising that he went that direction, but if you're in a lower state of mind than where you are normally, I can agree with that. Yes. And then there's these assholes who are sitting there going, Jordan Peterson tells everybody to ignore the internet, but can't ignore the internet. It's like, are you stupid? Are you fucking stupid?
Well, it's like trying to lob attacks against Boogie, just knowing that he's going to react.
Yeah, but here was the thing, though. That lasted like 30 seconds because everybody was like, "No, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, or we're going to take you down." Because everybody was just like, Jordan Peterson was like a one-man, like Spartan killing machine, son of a bitch, on the battlefield by himself.
Logical. Yeah.
I mean, he was the Master Chief from Halo, taking everybody the fuck out by himself. And he was doing it well. And it just like, boom, he just hit a wall. And that happened. I mean, no man can fight that war by themselves, and he was doing it for a while.
He hit the eject button in the Ghost.
He had to, yes. While in the air. While way up in the air was the problem. But
yeah.
Yeah, but he was going against the whole armada, so in a Ghost.
Oh, and I'm sure he will once he gets back on his feet, but goddamn.
He needs to take a break. We might not see him for a couple of years because he should stay. If anything, he should definitely stay away.
I expect that we'll see him before the end of the year, but yes, he needs to focus on regaining his health, his mentality. And take his own advice. Not saying that he's being a hypocrite, but take your own advice. Focus on the things that are important. Obviously, fighting against this whole political correctness and push of this ideology into our societies is what's important to him. But it's like, fight one battle at a time. Get your health back. Get your state of mind back. Enjoy the time that you have with your family. When you've recovered, then you can come back to the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. I kind of really didn't agree with everyone going after him because of his wife and stuff like that. But that was just bullshit. That's just.
But it's that same sick mentality. I mean, people attack Captain Hook just to get to you. People attack Ishtar just to get to Antoine. They will find what hurts you the most, whether it's part of the actual argument or not, and they will dig and they will twist and they will drive in whatever little weapon, shank, that they have in their hand
Well, here's the thing.
just to get a rise out of you.
They did try. They did try. Not to count the hook. They wasn't expecting a fiery redhead.
But I'm no, and the same thing with Ishtar. Captain Hook and Ishtar can fight for themselves. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the sick mentality of people. Imagine the people who aren't in the mood to fight back or aren't capable of fighting back in the same manner. The sick mentality of these people thinking, okay, I'm going to go for your weaknesses, whether it's ethical or not. Oh, you have family member over here? You have a woman or a girl or a son or a daughter all the way over here that you're trying to keep? No, let's bring them into this and hold a knife to their throat to get you to shut up.
Well, see, that's the thing. You can... It sucks when that happens to you, but you can always remember this one thing. Like when they try to bring your family into it and use them as a battering ram against you, or they try bringing up some disaster that happened to you, or your living condition, or anything like that. If they've got to go to the outside realms just to grab something to go at you, they're weak.
Well, we know this.
Well, they're essentially saying they have no argument, which is fine in that regards. But unfortunately, when they have no argument, then they just resort to these incredibly hostile attacks. Which, I mean, it used to be like, you let your argument stand on its own merit, and they can't. And it's funny how these people are resorting to these violent means, like Antifa in particular, which is the more physical one. But Antifa will still go after other people. I mean, hell, look what did you guys hear what they did to Andy Noah on Halloween?
No, what did they do?
No.
They found out where he lived.
Oh,
so
that
on Halloween night, they came to his house, like a gang of like 8 of them, and they had these printed out Andy No masks, and they were all wearing white, like these white sweatpants and hoodies and stuff. And they were wearing Andy No masks, and he had a security camera, so you can get it. And it felt like something out of The Purge. They kept ringing on his doorbell, knocking on his door, and all that. So
weren't they trying to get into his house saying they were Andy and it was his grandmother's house or something?
No, it was his house. He had a security camera on his house, so that's what they were able to find out. I think he called the cops, and it was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. And I don't know.
At that point, you don't know if they're going to try to bust down your door and try to kill you. Yeah, I would be terrified too. I don't know who wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
Pin's getting attacked by a pussy.
Cat attack.
Pretty much.
We're both trying to get out of the room at the same time.
I love that song. That song. I haven't had to use that in a while.
That just livened up the mood.
I sense a disturbance.
But
no, I
that was
lost what I was gonna say now.
I
now,
heard about what happened. Oh, we got another door. I thought that was that.
Now I know what I was gonna say. People try doing that at my place. Only thing I gotta say is black bag special on aisle 1.
Oh, shotgun sale. Yep. Shotgun shell sale.
Yep.
Everybody gets a free shotgun shell. In the ass.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you.
Renslayer just comes in with Cat Lady.
Like you said, for me, it's more along the lines of 7 Days to Die, Primitive Bow. Rambo.
I've got enough footy cells to take out.
So mine hurts a lot more because 4 piercing, 4 edges going through your body and pushing apart as it goes through and tearing and ripping.
Oh, you got those bows. Okay.
Yep, those, and if those arrows get stuck halfway in, they got to push it the rest of the way through to get it out. So that's even funner.
Let's see. Handgun, shotgun, 30-40, and 50 cal. So
I'm surprised being a tech channel, you didn't just make like attach some guns to some RC cars or something as a little security system. I imagine a really tech person to fucking Home Alone his house.
Well, that's illegal, unfortunately, in like all states.
I remember seeing it. There was
when the doors closed.
I remember hearing about this abandoned house where some people went in. I remember when there was an abandoned house where a bunch of people just booby trapped it to kill off homeless people. I guess it's like there was like stuff put into the stairs where if you climb up the stairs, an axe would come down.
Oh.
And other such things. So someone with like engineering skills decided to make a homeless mousetrap.
Oh God!
It was horrifying when I heard about it because they were looking through it and getting all the various different booby traps that were set up in the house. It was terrifying.
It's a zany action, a crazy contraption. Someone is catching its mousetrap.
Yeah, something like that, but for homeless people, and it was terrifying, just terrifying.
Wow.
Well,
yeah,
that sounds like a solution that California is going to be using here soon.
Anyways, I apologize for the interruption.
What happened?
My door was partially closed. Both cats are trying to get out at the same time. Lucky still is trying to play though, and Socks doesn't want to play. So Lucky gets in Socks' face, and Socks not only swipes at him, but does the full, like, get the fuck out of my face, and pounces on him and starts, trying to bite him. And Lucky was like, no, man, I was just trying to play! Squeaks and is trying to defend him. Well, that's more than a squeak. It was more like a ree.
I'm about to die. Help me, human.
Help me, human.
Wow.
It happens, and I've noticed it only ever happened like the past 2 times because the door was either all the way closed or partially closed. Socks is trying to leave. Lucky gets in his face because he thinks he's trying to play.
I'll be back.
But shit, I was gonna bring something up I found on Twitter. Antoine ended up retweeting something I seen it is like something about the education standards and the voting map pattern and how the lower educated states voted for Trump and high educated states voted Democrat. And it's like you look at it, there's no data points. There's nothing about it. But if you look up that same map, it brings you up to a MGTOW site. And it's a map listing black versus white education levels. And it's like, good job finding something that suits your narrative with no freaking evidence. And Jim X ended up popping in there and like I think he threw up a homeless map of I can't remember what it was now.
Homeless normalized by population.
Yes.
It was basically just how much homeless percentage per persons there were. Like, it's funny. The more educated you are, the more homeless you have. Who would have thought?
Yeah, because they go in for gender identity politics and can't find a job.
Is that what they? It's dumb to speak. Is that what you consider educated?
No. Here's the thing. They consider educated. These maps that they're throwing up are actually by how many schools they have, like colleges, schools. They even count in daycares as educational areas.
Daycares?
Yes. So it's not really education. It's how many
institutions there are.
Yeah, it's more along the lines of how many institutions. It's a very flimsy map of what it really is. It has nothing to do with education. It's like
quantity does not equate to quality.
Quality. And it's like, how much access do people have to education versus
Execution.
education? Execution. It's actually supposed to be called execution. It might as well be called execution because there is no edge.
No, but no, the one map that they had, like I said, was black versus white education levels. That was the map that they were using, and it wasn't even black versus white. It was black male versus white female education levels. And that was the map they were using, and they were just trying to paint broad stroke. This is the education map of all of America. It's like you can't do that. It's like what are your data points?
Yeah.
It's like what are your data points? What are you basing off of this? What are you including into this? Are you including people who graduated? Are you including GEDs? Are you including colleges, tech schools? I mean, what form of education are you trying to claim here? Because there's many different forms. And even then, it's like, are you contraring this to the actual population of each state? It's like, oh, California has more educational values than Oklahoma. Well, no shit, because California is about 5 times the fucking size of Oklahoma.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, They try to use the numbers game, but it's like you can't use the numbers game with people on a map, and they claim, oh, well, this is why the president got elected, because electoral college. You don't use the same principles as defining the 2 data points. It's stupid.
Calling people stupid always works so well before an election. I can just ask Hillary Clinton. Uneducated voters. Oh, that's going to go well.
You have tornadoes now, too. Cool. The yearly occurrence here, we usually get about 400 to 500 different tornadoes a year in Oklahoma. I hate to see what happened in a tornado in Los Angeles.
Oh, they've already. There was a Discovery. They did like a Discovery Channel episode on that, and how bad would a tornado be in a major city area? They said California surprisingly hasn't had it, but it should actually have more than what it has.
1999, I think. Yes, I believe it was 1999. Maybe it was 90. I can't remember. But there was an EF5 tornado that went through Moore, Oklahoma, all the way straight through into Oklahoma City. And it was bad. And then you have the 2011 tornado that hit Joplin, Missouri. I actually remember walking that one, and that was fucking bad. I think that was the most deaths in a tornado since like in the 50s. There's like 300-400 dead.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it was not fun. That was not a fun week.
No.
Walking for the fire department. That sucked. The worst thing is like going around and doing house inspections, and it wasn't even considered search and rescue at the time. It was search and discovery. And we were supposed to go house to house and look, basically just go down a street, look through the houses, and see if there's any casualties. If there's a casualties, we'd have orange spray paint, spray an X on the door. The house was empty. We have a green check mark, spray paint on the door. Because there's just so much damage.
Yeah. Yeah, if that ever happens in Los Angeles or Beverly Hills or any place like that, those areas are just totally screwed.
Yeah. Anyways, let's change topic. It's kind of getting a little dark.
But yeah, about the education thing. Back onto the topic we were talking about previously. the whole underwater basket weaving does not count as an education, in my opinion. So, I mean, it's all down to opinion, too. And I've seen California. I was like, yes, California is so smart, yet has so much shit on its streets. That just makes so much fucking sense. No one knows. Everybody is educated, but nobody knows how to shit in a toilet.
Pretty much. I know, Penn, you were posting. Was it you, or was it someone else posting stuff about the Trump being posted as not guilty?
Say that again? Somebody coughed.
About the hearing, the Senate hearing, and how they found Trump not guilty.
You know what? There was a lot of people. I do not have an official Twitter account anymore, so I cannot confirm nor deny that I posted anything.
I don't know who it was. I mean, I'm just asking. But
there was a lot of people posting shit.
Yeah. He's like, oh no, Trump's guilty. They're wrong. And it's like, no, you in it. No, it was on someone else's. I remember Vlad came in and posted something because I stated, because of the way the ruling goes and the way the laws go, basically when it went to the Senate for a vote, if he's found guilty, then yeah, okay, the impeachment will go through, this and that. But if they go in and they find him not guilty, what ends up happening is his first term ends up becoming null and void.
Only if he's served less than 2 years.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that he will only ever, if there was anything that ever happened, he will only have ever served a maximum of 10 years. If you serve your first term, or I guess even part into your second term, halfway through,
but
then you can be for re-election again.
Time out. Don't they go off of when the impeachment started?
The idea with impeachment, though, is, and I'm bad at civics, so give me a second. The thing with impeachment is he's been impeached. It's basically okay. He has been impeached. He has not been removed from office. The trial in the Senate was to see if they were going to remove him from office and bar him from being on the ballot again for re-election. But he's already served 3 out of 4 years.
Okay, I got you.
In his first term. So he will still only get, if he was re-elected, a second term. Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense then. Because I remember I was talking to somebody at work and they were bringing it up. I can't remember what they were looking it up at, but it's... I should have asked for the fucking website's name. But it was going through and it's like, that'd be kind of, scary if that did happen. Because running for 3 terms, that would be weird. And it'd be a lot of unhappy people.
You know what would have been weird? If he had been found guilty, then removed, and then Pence was in charge. Like, people keep on forgetting about that.
Presidential pardon of the president, and then, okay, I nominate Trump to be my VP, and then I step down, which means then Trump becomes... That's been the joke of the time.
No, Pence, no. I would love to see Pence, because Pence would get reelected in a heartbeat if they did that. And that's the thing. They would have lost to Pence. And that would have shown how bad they are. Because people, no one really hates Pence. Everybody just kind of hates his whole thing on gays, but even he's not really stuck on it. So, he's kind of...
then they tried getting mad at him for saying he'll only have dinner alone with his wife. He'll never have dinner alone with another woman. And they're like, you're misogynist. It's like, well, wait a minute. In the Me Too era, why wouldn't you want to make sure that any woman he does have dinner with, that everything is on the up and up?
So you're saying he should have dinner and cheat on his wife? What? No. You're saying he should cheat on... he should have dinner with a woman and rape her? Is that what you're saying he should do? I don't get this concept.
Alright, time out. Man Squatch, I think what Penn was saying was, Pence... Oh, well, no, I kind of don't understand what Man Squatch is saying. Like, if Trump had been convicted, the Senate would not confirm him as vice president. Who would that be? Would that be Pence or Trump?
I think he's saying that if Trump was removed and Pence becomes president, that the Senate would not confirm Trump if Pence said, "Okay, I want Trump as my VP." That the Senate would not confirm him as.
But can another president overthrow impeachment?
There's the presidential pardon, but I don't know at this point if that's enough to actually do it.
Oh, I see what he's talking about. The Senate has to confirm the vice president. And that's what happened with Pence, too. Trump picked him as his vice president. And then
not necessarily. If he... here's what he could do. He said, I'm not choosing a vice president since we're so close to the election, but I am choosing my running mate. And they don't have to confirm his running mate.
That's true.
They can't. They don't They don't choose who his running mate is. He does. Yeah. So that's how they could do it.
All right. Prediction right now. I don't expect a tsunami, but I do expect seats to flip. I'm expecting more seats in the House to flip back to Republican, but not enough to be the overwhelming majority. Like maybe 1 or 2 seats.
There is a good chance that we will see California seats flip.
If there's
it's happened before. It's been a long time since 1950.
Yeah, the 90s is the early 80s or 90s is when California flipped from red to blue.
Blue, yeah. And Texas has flipped from blue to red, and
now it's purple.
Now it's
Florida's purple,
and it will flip again. I mean, everybody says, "Oh, these states will never flip." No, states have always flipped colors. It's not a new thing. It happens, and they'll stay that way forever. It's like no, that it never stays that way forever. States flip. It always has. They always will, because they always fuck them up. The party that is becomes majority important either fucks up or people just get kind of bored with that. It's either 2 things change a state: boredom of representatives because nothing new happens, but nothing bad is happening either, or 2, they fucked up. And
right. And I mean, I'm sure in the next 20 years there will come a time where the Republicans become complacent and just as bad as the Democrats are now, and therefore, might have to consider switching parties again.
Well,
but in the meantime, the Democrats keep proving why I switched in the first place.
Well, the Republicans kind of had that. They had that during Bush and during 9/11 and all that. But they learned very quickly, halfway through, actually very, very halfway through their first term, okay, we've kind of fucked up. We need to pull up. The damage was already done. Even after all the good things they did afterwards and, goodwill they were showing, they just fucked up way too much. Democrats just keep going. It is engage. Warp 9.
They keep Bonnie Fiving themselves. They keep shooting themselves in the foot.
Oh yeah,
big time.
It's unreal how bad. It's and they don't see anything. I mean, they got blinders on so badly that they don't see what they're doing because they had 8 years of Obama, and they just kept going with it, and they didn't stop.
And now people are sick and tired and done with all the shenanigans. So it's like, okay, fine. You don't want to listen to us? We don't have to listen to you either. Which is basically what happened in the Senate.
They just had like a shit ton of people like after the impeachment and after the Pelosi ripped up the speech, and everybody's just like, yeah, we're done. If you're not going to stand up for these great things that he actually did, and we all agree he did some really good things in that speech, and you wouldn't stand up for black children, clap. You wouldn't veterans returning home. You wouldn't new reform bills that help people, elderly people, and all this other shit. War heroes. You wouldn't stand up and clap for any of it. So fuck off.
And the sad part about it is that we know that Pelosi lied. She didn't rip it up because of it being a manifesto of mistruths, as she puts it. She had pre-tested to see if she could rip it up in the middle of the speech.
Oh yeah, you could see her rip it, like just yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can rip this, and then she didn't listen. She didn't the optics of what she did. I don't care if she actually believes that Trump is lying. The optics, woman, the optics.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I'm sorry, at this point, the conservatives and moderates, well, mostly the conservatives, play the better game of optics better than you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The left can't meme. So.
Well, she done fucked up. We all agree, and she ain't.
She needs a goddamn timeout.
Well, she's supposedly. I thought she wasn't running again, but she is running apparently this time around.
I hope she gets taken down. I hope she gets taken down. I hope she gets taken down.
Well, she's not going to be the Speaker of the House after this. That's for sure. She's not going to be the Speaker of the House. She's actually. They've already the Democrats have already kind of seen Adam, and they were kind of setting up Adam Schiff to be the next Speaker of the House.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
That ain't happening because like no one likes Schiff. Schiff might not even win his seat again. So we'll see. Hold on, I'll be back.
Okay. But yeah, oh my god.
It's all stupid.
That's okay. We can laugh. We can laugh at them, at how stupid they are.
I don't laugh at them all the time. I laugh at a lot of people all the time. Snickering in the corner. Poking fun. All to myself. And that's just about what I do with the whole fucking political shit. I normally don't talk politics, but I'll talk about some of the stupid shit that happens in them.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stupid shit that happens.
Well, okay, so down at the bar I go to, and at work, and people I know at work, you know, it seems like a lot of friendships are lost when it comes time for elections.
Oh, but this past election was probably the worst that I've ever seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, holy shit.
Wenslayer says he laughs at Sparky's messy room. Okay, so this table is filled with a lot of electronic shit I've been going through and trying to sort and look through. And I'll get put together. And then I've got to teleport at the end to look for something else. And then I organize again. And then I teleport to look for something else. And I finally got to the point and I said, fuck it! I'm not going to put it back together again because I'm just going to teleport later.
There you go.
And I'm still in the middle of trying to clean and organize my room a bit. I even came up with some mock-ups of what I would like it to look like when I'm done. But sadly, this requires me to do a paint job and order some wall wrap as well.
Well, I've got it set up right now. As soon as I get my heater installed in the garage, which I've been working on, I'm actually gonna
Man cave,
whatever. But once I get the heater set up in the garage, and I can get some shit moved around. I'm going to be turning my desk the opposite direction, what's facing this wall over here. And I'm probably gonna have about 50 to 60 inches from the wall. And behind that, I'm gonna put up my sound pad tile. And I'm gonna try to get my green screen hung up. So
Nice.
I can
So
I'll be able to switch between either the black sound foam that's on the wall, or I can put my green screen up and use whatever I want on the green screen.
I was going to say, in the process of making your man cave, you might as well also make part of that a art studio for Hook.
She's already got one.
Well,
Make it bigger.
I guess like man cave is just another word of saying like I got kicked out of the house because we had to make room for the baby. So how's that kiddo coming along? You got what color are the walls? What color are the walls? Are you painting them pink or blue? What are we dealing with here?
There's nothing being painted.
Baby shit green.
Baby shit green. All right, yeah, okay.
It doesn't matter. The baby is gender fluid, so make it baby shit green.
Oh, fuck that.
Gender fluid.
Fuck that. If I
Hey.
ever did have a kid,
Shit is fluid.
If I ever did have a kid, none of that gender fluid bullshit. They're born, they're either male or female.
So what happens if your boy or girl, or it, comes to you and says, Daddy, I think I'm a... And it's the complete opposite of what they should be.
Then you press a lawsuit against the school. Lawsuit!
No, I would do homeschooling. I would find a way.
By then you'd be a millionaire on YouTube, just doing videos, talking bullshit once a week.
Yeah. With my expected in the future 1 million subscribers, yeah, sure.
Well, at some point it'll probably go that way.
At some point, yeah. Maybe if everyone else leaves off YouTube.
Who knows? Who knows at this point?
Yeah, who knows?
I'll be right back.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, be right back.
After these messages.
No, I'm getting my garage set up. I got my income taxes in, and man, I fucking went through them fast. I think I've got like $200 left after buying all the shit I needed and getting shit taken care of. But no, I'm putting a heater on the garage to not chill out of the house, out of the garage, so I can actually go in there and walk on shit. Once I get that installed,
Walk on shit, he says.
Well, like taking my truck apart and fixing an oil leak on it. And we have a new person in the chat. Wikipedia Snippet. What is up, man? Have a wrench.
Oh! Wickety Snippet?
Yep.
Do we have? Wickety! We've missed you!
It's not Wrench. He's never been on the channel, so there you go. Have one.
The MF. What? There was a gender fluid prototype. Oh, my head hurts.
But no, I've got to get that installed, which probably take me another 2 or 3 hours to get done. Then I can start getting shit in the garage organized and sorted out. And then once I did that, I have a big ass fucking pipe that's running along the wall that used to be an old gas line, which is the perfect length if I cut it down to put up as a runner from that wall over there to that wall over there to put my green screen on. So I can slide it back and forth if I need to. And then all thing I do is just tear everything down in the room, get it flipped around, get stuff moved, and it'll look a little bit more professional afterwards. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Or I could just do what everyone else does and not have a fucking camera on.
Bum, bum, bum.
But no, the way I look at it is I started out my YouTube career with my camera on, and that's how it's gonna go. I don't believe in not showing my face. So
I don't believe in showing the things.
I don't believe in not showing my face.
Oh, okay. Are you
No,
trying to
like-
face shame us?
No, that's up to you guys. You guys have never done a face reveal.
Well, I
You
kind
don't
of have
to.
shown my face like once or twice, but not an official face reveal.
No, my first video I ever did was with a cheap ass 720p video camera, starting out my tech channel, and it's grown to here. But that's how my shit started out, and that's how I'm gonna keep it. So with that, I've gotta fix the green screen up, and I've gotta get the sound pad up to at least make it look decent. I think I've got enough to do this entire wall. If not, I have to buy some more.
Just buy some green paint.
I was thinking about buying some of those soundproof foam to help with like sound quality and everything. And I thought, I don't even have a proper mic to make that even useful. I'm just using my iPhone headphones.
God damn.
I've never invested money in microphone or sound equipment, so I thought, wow. But I guess if you want to move forward with anything, you probably should.
Well, I mean, I've got them all in trash bags right now because of the simple fact of moving. But no, I've got sound foam like this, and I've just got to put it along the wall in alternating fashions. And
Okay.
stuff wasn't that expensive, so
No, I find it on Amazon for like what was it, $30 or $20? I can't remember how much it was, but it depends on how many squares you want.
yeah. Like I said, I've got 3 big ass trash bags of, I think they're like 40 tiles in each bag.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I've got enough to do either this entire wall or a partial of the wall. And if I only got enough to do a partial, I'll do what I can get in view of the camera and then get some later to finish it up.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I have my green screen I had up at the house. I just gotta... I don't want the same railing solution I had at the other house because it was just copper pipe put together. And it was so freaking flimsy. You can pull on it just a little bit and it'd come down. So I've got... It's a big 3/4 inch steel pipe in the garage that ran from the gas line to the other side of the garage against the wall for a gas dryer that they used to have in this house, which is not hooked up anymore. And I measured it, it's like 20 foot long. So if I do is just measure what I need, cut it down, get it in here, get hooks up on the wall, and there you go.
What you could do is do like a curtain rod type down, hook up to the ceiling, and just so you can slide it back and forth whenever you needed it up to the wall.
That's kind of the idea, but there's nothing. You gotta understand, this is a 12-foot long green screen.
Yeah.
There's really nothing in this area I can buy that would do that.
You could
That's
buy
why.
a long, one of those long, not copper, but or you could probably use copper. You buy a copper tube and just put like curtain.
That's
hooks.
that's what I did. The problem is I couldn't. In the area right now where I'm at, I cannot find copper pipe that's long enough, and I've got to use unions to put it together, and those unions catch on the damn green screen.
Yeah.
And the problem I have is whenever I go to open it or close it, every now and then I knock the damn wall pipe off the wall because it come apart, sliding it open and sliding it closed. And I'm trying to get away from that, make it better, and it always sagged and bowed in the middle. But I couldn't find an actual steel pipe thick enough and strong enough to be able to hang up on the wall. But I've got one now, so I'm just gonna utilize what I have. Get either the end hooks for cut-ins, or just buy something, put it up, and go with that.
You could.
I'll have to
This
cut
is-
the green screen down, but oh well.
PVC pipe with foam
Too
injected
flexible.
into it.
Too flexible. I've already tried.
No, with hardening foam.
Yeah, it's still too flexible. That foam still moves and bends.
Are you talking about the soft foam or the hard foam?
The hard foam.
It even flexes.
I've even tried it with the copper pipe and still flexes.
Oh, Jesus.
Sounds like what you need is flex tape.
Concrete. Yeah, I need concrete. Yeah.
I can just imagine that falling on my head in the back wall.
Well, that's why you put it in a stud. No, I don't know then. Jesus.
Yeah, well, I think the idea I have with walk, it's just I've never been able to find a steel pipe quite long enough from my other room because my other room was about 12 foot long. So in my old house, the wall that's behind me was from one end to the other end was 12 foot. This room is a little bit smaller. It's 10 foot from this wall over here to this wall over there, and about 8 foot from over there to over there. So the room is a little bit smaller, but it's a lot more manageable. And whenever I rotate my desk around, it's got to be facing towards the smaller breadth of the wall. So all I have to do is just cut that pipe. And like I said, I've got 20 foot of it. So I just cut 8 foot of it, put it up, put the green screen up, be done with it.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
And Wikipedia says, embarrassing ways to die, yes. Although for me, I'd probably just, bend the pipe. Or break the concrete. I'm so thick-headed.
Maybe.
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 Denying it.
Who knows at this point?
We're getting kind of.
What?
We're running out of steam.
I
think so. The caffeine's run its course, and now we're about to crash.
Hang on. There's a monster.
You can have. I can't drink that shit right now. I'll die. I'm sick. So the problem is, two of us are sick. One of us is tired, and the other one's got a monster in his pocket.
Is that Woofu?
Isn't the Catholic Church? And what's this? No little Timmy glued to your crotch. Progress.
Yeah.
Love that show.
Oh God, it does not get old.
I think their best writing was always Hellsing at Bridge. I don't know. I like Dragon Ball, but Hellsing just was the best. I don't know what was up with that show. I don't know why the writing on there was so much better. At least I think it's so much better.
I think they Dragon Ball's a little bit more pure, whereas Hellsing is a little bit darker, and you can kind of get away with that. I mean,
I guess so. You might have a point there.
I mean, they've always kind of pushed the edge as how far they could go with Dragon Ball Bridge, but they could really push it with Hellsing. So, yeah.
There's just not enough Popo episodes. He's just not there that often.
All right, maggots, listen up. Popo's about to teach you the pecking order. It goes you, the dirt, the worms inside of the dirt, Popo's stool, call me, then Popo.
I've been trying to talk the last 5 minutes and I keep getting interrupted. I know why, because my microphone was muted.
Sure, it's not just because you're a woman, and we're just not being misogynistic.
Hold on here.
Oh, look at that. A woman who doesn't know any better. What are the odds?
No, I was trying to say, so how did people enjoy that Boondocks marathon yesterday?
I didn't see it, so.
Oh, yeah, Rogue ran a Boondocks, at the request of some of us, a Boondocks marathon on Twitch yesterday. And oh my god, I forgot how good that show was.
I never forget. There's forever clips going on my YouTube feed. So I just love the Boondock. Like I don't believe it or not, I've actually never seen a single episode, but I watch tons of clips.
You should at least just sit down and watch episode.
My favorite clip was the Chris Hansen scene.
Oh no!
Oh! Hold up.
Have to look it up, do you?
No, I have it.
Not close enough, apparently.
Yeah.
You want to explain to me what you're doing here?
I came looking for booty.
You came looking for sex with an underage boy?
Oh, no, I ain't come looking for no little boys. I ain't got no milk, no cookies, nothing. I came looking for man's butt.
A man's butt? Excuse me?
Oh, I know who you are, Chris Hansen. But see, I calls you Chris Handsome. I watch your TV show all the time. So you can go ahead and bring them cameras and them police is waiting outside. It don't make me no difference. Now, I tell you what, I like you and I want you. Now, we can do this the easy way or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours.
Well, I don't think you and I will be doing anything any kind of way.
Okay, I see you choosing the hard way.
Okay, cut. This isn't working. Someone get this guy out.
Oh, I can ruin that bike. No, Chris, I'm a
Damn. Anyways, Wikipedia says cue Popeye theme. So here we go.
Oh God. No.
I'm gonna regret that one later.
No.
Then I can't stand no more.
Sorry, yawning. Stop it.
God, we are so.
Stop yawning.
I can't help it.
Oh, yeah.
What happened to your shaft?
There's powerful niggardry at work here.
There goes any form of monetization I might have had if it was monetized. Bye-bye.
Well, you can't have monetization anymore because everything has to be 18 plus or it's fucking kids.
I thought it was 13 plus, but oh well.
Nope, 18 plus now because you can't take that chance because if you put it 13 plus and a kid watches it, it's still your fault. I was like, what the fuck?
So, for good measure, fuck you kids, fuck you kids. Get the fuck out.
Well, no, hang on. I had this idea a while ago to make, some comedy segments, kid-friendly. And here's my attempt at that. And I want to play this for you guys and tell me what you think of it. I might play the whole thing, I may not. Let's just gauge a reaction from everyone. So, this is Ron Wright's They Call Me Tater Salad, chipmunk style.
I got thrown out of a bar in New York City. Now, when I say I got thrown out of a bar, I don't mean somebody asked me to leave, and we walked to the door together, and I said, bye, everybody, I gotta go. 6 bouncers hurled me out of a nightclub like I was a frisbee. Big old bouncers that go home every night, watch Roadhouse and beat off, you know what I'm talking about? Patrick Swayze's hitting another guy. For wearing a hat. I walk into a bar with a hat on, this guy real pissy. He goes, take off the hat! I'm like, what's the deal? He goes, I'll tell you what the deal is. Faggots in this area wear hats. We're trying to keep them out of our club. I'm like, oh, really? The only way we can tell down in Texas is if they have their hair cut like yours. And he got all pissed.
Yeah.
What do you mean, boo this man?
I was only able to understand like half of that.
God damn it.
Ron helium.
In the name of white Jesus and all great white men will come thereafter, I command our black nigger soul back to the depths of hell.
Uncle Ruckus is probably one of my favorite characters. He's just so fun.
That lazy eye.
May white God bless you.
Oh, this is the best one here.
Removing an evil nigga spirit from a Negro is as hard as removing the stank from a hunk of shit. We must use these tools that the great God has given us to fight niggas. A whip, a noose, a knife, stick, a branding iron. These things strike fear into a nigga's heart. A job application, or a conversation with the nigga. The nigga will lie. The nigga will make excuses. He will use words he don't really know. If he gets really desperate, he may start to rap or dance.
I gotta ask something. Is that the spitball music or the Kamehameha, piano music in the background?
That is the Exorcist music in the background.
I was gonna say it sounds like from like Dragon Ball Z, where that piano music.
No, that's like Exorcist. Like
that's the Exorcist. Yeah, it's the Exorcist music is what it is, because they were playing a parody on the Exorcist, and it's really good.
Get your black ass out of here! Yeah!
Keep it
Nigga, get your black ass out of here! Nigga, get your black ass out of here!
Oh, this is a good one too here.
What did you say, nigga?
You know what, motherfucker? Eat a dick, nigga. I'm tired of this mother.
Yeah, that's when he gets chest.
Oh yeah! Look at you. You was popping all that good shit a second ago. Then you got kicked in your chest. You eat a dick, nigga. You eat a dick.
There was just some good moments in that show.
And you can't say half that shit today, or at least if you're white, you can't say it.
That's why we got SoundPad for things like this.
Yeah. Service guarantees citizenship. Let me tell you, now Martin Luther King was a hoe. Man, fuck Jesse Jackson. No. It's three things that black people need to tell the truth about. One, Rodney King should have got an ass beat for driving drunk and being thrown in a Hyundai. Two, OJ did it. And three, Rosa Parks ain't do nothing but sit her black ass down.
And the thing is, a black man said it, so I can't deny it. I can't deny it because a black man said it. Black man cannot be wrong. Fuck you all. You say different.
Yeah. Exorcist plus Blair White equals Linda Blair White.
And that's all from Barbershop. That show was hilarious.
Haven't seen it.
Probably should. I don't know. There's some movies I don't see. Barbershop was just one of them. It just didn't appeal to me. But once you hear some of the clips, like, maybe I should.
Man, I walked in from work yesterday, and I heard screaming on TV, and Captain Hook's just sitting there watching TV. I'll turn around, and I look, and there's this nun with a fucking demonic face. Like, what the fuck are you watching? It's like, The Nun. It's like, that's freaky as fuck.
The Nun.
Then it's called The Nun.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I probably watched a little bit of it. It's like, yeah, this ain't my cup of tea.
Yeah, but this is why you need sound pads in your show, Sparky. It helps get everybody's energy back up because,
unless Antoine's in here, and then it drives the Antoine away. Like, sound pad to Antoine is like, let the power of Christ compel you.
Big titty police girl.
Oh God.
I love it when he was talking about sending death threats to the Pope via carrier pigeon.
Yeah. Oh, the Crimson fucker.
The Crimson fucker.
Oh wait, what's here?
Black fucking Sabbath. If I wasn't holding up for that beast of a woman Integra, I'd fuck the red right out of those eyes. Well, kinda like that, only with less symbolism and more my penis in your vagina. You done goof.
How the blood-soaked Protestant hell did you do that?
Fuck you, that's how.
That's one of my favorite lines.
I wish they had done a line that said "fuck you." That's why. But I want to record that. But someone says, "Why? Fuck you." That's why.
Yeah, if Kadun ever watches the show anymore, she always wants me to play one of these two sound clips. This is the first one.
Now, Luke Valentine, it's time to educate you on how a real vampire does battle.
Yeah, that one.
And bitches love cannons.
And then
Give that bitch a cannon. Bitches love cannons.
Yeah. And then you had this one.
Releasing control alt restriction systems. 3, 2, 1. Approval of Situation A recognized. Commencing the Cromwell invocation. Ability restrictions lifted for limited use until the enemy has been rendered silent.
Oh.
I'm expecting Kadun just to go into chat now. I was like, oh!
When you find him, and when you kill him, I want you to record it so I can fall asleep to it every night.
Jesus fucking Christ, I've missed you!
Hey!
Oh, shut up.
Oh, you know exactly what to say to moisten me up.
I can never have sex again!
What was that conversation between who was that?
The Queen of England.
The Queen of England and Alucard, yeah.
Ah, okay.
The Holocaust Museum? Leave that be. No one will deny what we did.
See, what's funny is that I recognize that voice. It sounds like Krillin. Like, is Krillin a Nazi?
Yeah,
Sounds like a Nazi.
it guy actually kind of looks like Krillin.
Well, he's short, like Krillin.
Yeah.
Difference is he has a full head of hair.
Yeah, but if he was bald, he would just like Krillin. Here's the full one of the big T, please, girl.
So that's your field report.
Yep.
You went on a walk through the forest at midnight.
Yep.
You killed a homicidal vampire priest.
Dead.
And then you turned someone into a vampire who happened to be a
Big titty police girl. Yes, it's like I didn't just get through explaining this. Now, if you don't mind, I've got things to do.
There were so many perfect lines in there. You'd have to record the whole series just to have them all. It's just the thing is, the reason I also think Hellslinger Bridge was they took a whole year. They would take a whole year before they would do an episode.
That's true. They drew that one out. So plenty of time to actually make a good story.
They did it for Christmas, which was hilarious. And the Christmas special, and everyone was like, "Yeah, that works."
Merry Christmas. Here's Hellslinger Bridged. Oh my God.
Oh God, they did so good on that. It was just ridiculous.
For Christmas, they brought us Nazis. How wonderful.
And now we don't get much. But
well, there's not much to do unless they want to do like the original Hellsing series,
the Hellstring movie. Oh, that would be fun.
No, well, maybe not the movie so much as actually like doing the first series because they did Hellsing Ultimate, and then there was the old
Hellsing,
old 2000 Hellsing. Yeah,
it wasn't that. I don't know if you could do that the same as they did with this because that one was kind of just like, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like all right, they just wrapped up the Cell Saga. Eventually, they're going to do Boo, and then once they're done Boo, I know like they cannot touch Super as much as they want to.
They can kind of do bits and pieces of Super here, but they're not. Yeah, Super is under a different protection, and It's actually owned by the company.
They can do super, but it can't be on YouTube.
No, it can't. Yeah.
They can do what? Oh, was it? I can't remember. Blind Wave. They do a reactionary podcast, kind of like how we do on Mechanic Tuesdays and Anime Watch Club, that sort of thing. And they'll have the clipped versions on YouTube, but then they have their own website with the full episodes on the website, and you can go on and watch it.
You know, I almost think that their safest bet would actually have to air it on Pornhub.
Oh yeah. Well, the problem is that Funimation would still sue them.
I mean, eventually, but it'll take them a while to find them. Because let's be like, you can put almost anything you want on Pornhub, and it'll be there for a while. Like I remember when the game devs were like leaked footage was coming out of various different games that hadn't been released yet, and they just put it on Pornhub. And it took them so long to find it.
Yeah.
They can find a way to get around it.
You'd have to check out the full clip and then go wash your hands afterwards and go check the next clip. No, yeah, that's probably true. But it will take them a while, I guess. So yeah, I can see that.
or just re-upload it on various different categories, like DBZ or Dragon Ball Super Abridged. This time under the hashtag of Connelliness, or looking under gangbang. I don't know.
Yeah. Pornhub has more important things to worry about than video games being released on their site. I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think they really give a shit about that. We see it. We'll take it down here someday.
I really don't think that they have a check box on Pornhub that says, "Is this kid friendly?"
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
I think if they start implementing a kid-friendly porn section, I think the world's going to end.
Yeah, God.
Kid-friendly porn? Are you kidding me? No.
Kid-friendly pedophiles. They're already pushing for that shit. So let's not give them any more fucking ideas.
The fact that queer kids stuff is a thing is very disturbing to me.
Yeah, just stop.
Yeah,
let's not discuss this. This is somebody else can have this. I'm depressed enough as it is.
All right. We won't go into that. What else is happening in the world? We got not queer kids. We got coronavirus.
I forgot about that.
Oh, did you see the map where they were showing? There's this satellite image where they're showing the release of sulfur and other gases from organics being burned. And there's one area. There's like this huge, like several cities
China?
and towns.
Yeah, I seen that. It's like what are they doing? Burning dead bodies?
They were sure they have they actually just put up a whole bunch of buildings that are quick and easy crematorium built. They're building like massive amounts of crematoriums, and they're just built. And it's in this one city. And it's like, oh, well, lovely. If you're okay, if
I'll
only
be back. I have to restart.
Well, here's the thing: if only 800 people have died, that's not that much of an increase. Why do you need so many furnaces? And I'm like, at this point, I've kind of gotten to the point where it's like, yeah, I'm betting those numbers aren't real right now.
Well, there was a disturbing video. I think it's disturbing, but someone in Wuhan who was taking footage from their apartment building, which was like high up, and there was fires in the streets in different parts, and they were taking video. And you could think, well, maybe there are riots, maybe something's going on. There's no noise.
Yeah.
But there's a fire, but it's so quiet. There's no noise. It's normally if there's a riot, you'd hear something like an alarm system or people or broken glass. Nothing. And I saw this video. I'm like, this is so freaky. Why is there no noise?
Yeah.
I think eventually the information is going to come out, and I mean, it's like this is going to be disturbing as all hell.
I'm pretty sure it's already out. Everybody's just kind of ignoring it. All the news agencies, our government, everybody's just ignoring it. I think the information is pretty much already out there. Nobody.
We know that like with VPNs and all that, people are getting the information out there. But I know China is arresting the whistleblowers who are posting these videos and forcing them to retract their stuff under fear of like jail time or something.
I was like, most of these people are already dying. They don't give a shit.
Well, that's true. That's true. What do they got?
Yeah, make me recheck this. What are you gonna do? Kill me? Oh, it's like, I'm already dead. I just don't know it yet.
I know that like there are people who are saying like we'd rather die at home than in a quarantine.
Oh yeah, they would, but they don't want that to happen. Did Penn leave again? Is her mic malfunction again?
Could be.
I think she said she had to leave for a second.
It could also be we're talking like really depressing shit.
That's true too. But
like this fucking Wuhan stuff is like the virus is terrible, and the fact that it's probably going to spread to other parts of the world, we just don't know it yet.
Yeah. Here's the thing: is like it's here in America, but they're really not reporting it anywhere else, like in Russia or India or anything like that.
We've had a couple cases here in Canada.
Which is weird. Well, of course, if you look at I'm not saying anything bad about Indians, but if you look at how like their pollution and everything and all that, that immune system, those immune systems are like fucking off the chart, if able to survive it there. So like coronavirus is like a common cold there.
Well, like when they announced this is probably going to be seasonal, that freaked me right out. Like seasonal, you know, your economy's in the shitter now. Like I don't know. Speaking of China and seasonal, so while we were talking before, I was wiping these things down because I was doing some work for a toy company, and they sent me some product, and I know it's manufactured in China, and I'm going over everything with disinfecting wipes. And I'm like, I'll save my time. Well, I'm not bothering wearing gloves because I got the wipes. It's got the antibacterial stuff, so that's fine. But I'm like, I know this all came from China, so I have to wipe everything down before I play around with it.
This is what you do: fill a bucket with like disinfectant, and just dip it in there. Just dip the whole thing in there. Open it up, dip the stuff, each toy in there. That's what you do.
I'm just using the wipes. It's good enough for now. But I'm like, fuck, China.
I get
China.
I get a package from China anymore. I just burn it.
Well, you probably won't get anything anymore.
Forget what it was. Just burn it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of stuff is not going through. Like one of the things that surprised me, and you could say this is the one good thing that happened from this virus.
Excuse me.
But bigger manufacturing companies are saying work from home.
Mm-hmm.
Or which is kind of hard because if you don't have any parts and stuff, you can't really do it. And one of the people who have sort of shut down is Foxconn, the people who make all the Apple products.
Oh God!
Which means if you need to get like a new tablet or something, you're screwed. You can't get it. You're not going to be getting it from China.
I guess Samsung is not in any better position, but still.
I mean, if they shut down factories, which they might,
they already are. They already are shutting down factories. They're shutting down a lot of factories in that area.
It's like almost like it was like they could have been warned. Like, you probably should have factories here in the United States.
Well, and that might happen.
That might happen now, or India might get a boost. Who knows? Because most shit's now made in India. Most people don't realize it, but a lot of shit is now made in India, then shipped to China. So, like, this is India's chance to step up. Mm-hmm.
American components, Russian components, all made in Taiwan.
I would rather that they just make factories in America again, because Lord knows it would boost up the economy.
Well, here's the problem. Okay, have you ever watched Strange Parts?
Never heard of it.
Strange Parts, it's on YouTube. Go ahead and watch. It's a great show. He did this episode of manufacturing components and all this other stuff. You would not find none of the problem with manufacturing in America is getting replacement components for the manufacturing components that they use. You would have to order them from China, and until then, that machine would be down. And if you ordered extras, that's also a waste of money as well. The idea of manufacturing is to do it as cheaply as possible. Everything's manufactured in China, therefore it's cheaper to get in China. And quicker. You cannot have the reason we literally have this. We have dismantled all our manufacturing, almost. The only thing that we really haven't is limited to a few things.
See, it takes me 2 months to order anything from fucking China.
Yeah.
And to quote on what Penn was saying earlier,
components, American components, Russian components, all made in Taiwan.
So maybe, just maybe, now if we bring back the factories here and all the and start, I mean, hello, we have 3D printing available to the common man.
Yeah,
how hard can it be to be able to do something similar with making replacement parts here in the United States and then be able to ship it overnight?
I can answer that. 3D printing is not as great. Okay, you know how you see when you see.
I know. I'm not trying to make a. I'm not trying to make a true equivalent.
That gun was not entirely 3D printed. Only the plastic bits were. Everything else is metal and was probably. I mean, I could make that gun without a 3D printer most of the time if I had to. You don't need the 3D printer parts are the plastic bits on the outside that make it look cool, and that's it. They might be the only 3D functional part on there might be the handle and the hand grips, and that's it. Everything else was bought at a hardware store and put together.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the times too, and the reason why it's outsourced is, you kind of brushed up on it a little bit, but it's like efficiency, speed, quality, amounts. When you compare U.S. to some other places like in China.
Oh yeah, because you can pay 20 different China people to do the same amount of labor as you could to American employees.
True.
Yeah.
And it's, is it right? Depends on your moral standpoint and your moral view of it. But at the end of the day, you gotta look at it like this. If you have a company that's needing so many pieces of equipment and they have a deadline that they have to make, are they gonna wait for an American company to do it? Or are they gonna go to a place where they can have it all done quickly for probably a cheaper amount? And unfortunately, they gotta pick quickly, cheaper amount every time.
Well, here's another thing. If we didn't do it that way, we wouldn't have our computers, we wouldn't have our iPhones, nothing. We wouldn't have any of this technology we have today if we didn't do it this way.
Well, we would have
because it'd be so massively expensive. The public consumer could not afford it.
Yeah. Well, we would have it, but it'd be so expensive and so rare.
Yep.
They won't be able to keep up with public demand. It's kind of the same thing that happened back in the 80s and 90s with like Nintendo, Sega, Commodore. They couldn't keep up. And you would have shortages for a long periods of time until they had enough built up again to sell. And by that time, it probably lasted maybe a week. And then have to wait 2 or 3 months for stock to get back in as they built it. You don't
I remember
see
the
that.
Super Nintendo used to be on shortage every for 6 days out of every week.
The Super Nintendo, the IBM, the Commodore 64, the Nintendo was when it first came out. Sega was bad about it. And there's a couple other old consoles. And it's until they started switching over to mass producing in different countries where they were able to keep up with the demand. And at the end of the day, it's all about supply and demand. If you have the demand, you got to have the supply. If you don't have the demand, you don't need the supply. And a lot of stuff that comes out, like say iPhones and shit like that, the big selling items, people want them and they'll buy them. So there is a big demand for them. They have to have a big supply. And unfortunately, making them in the U.S. is not feasible because they'll never keep up with the supply for the demand.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the basics of it. I mean, there's all sorts of
Technology. Here's the problem: you give somebody the opportunity to make a more efficient way, great. But if you outsource it, there's no incentive to keep everything in house.
All right,
or in country.
No, it's quite possible for people to make this up in the U.S. Actually, there's people that do it all the fucking time. Here's the thing. Yeah, I can make this, and I can cut corners, and I can make this a little bit more cheaply. Okay, can you mass produce it? No. Move on.
Because you'd have to hire for the minimum wage. You can hire one person here. You can hire 12 people over in China, and they can mass produce it quickly. With 12 versus 1.
Well, so let's see. Human rights activists should be complaining that the people in China have such a low wage. Wouldn't that destroy their argument, though? It's they're not paying them a living wage. It's like, apparently, the people in China can live on that wage. Why can't you?
What defeats their argument is you're not paying people a living wage. Look at my iPhone. And there you go. You have an iPhone because of them, and you bought it. If you don't want that iPhone to destroy, those people to, if you want those people to earn a better wage or not to have any wage at all, just don't buy the iPhone, and then they won't have to work so hard. In fact, they won't work at all, and they'll starve to death. So, good luck. And that's why. It's honestly, if you want to look at why people are suffering in China, everybody here in the U.S. needs to go to their bathroom and look in their mirror. I know it's everybody's gonna hate that, but if you want somebody to get, if you want to look at somebody's fault, you got to go in that mirror and look at it. Yes, the corporations are doing this, but who's forcing the corporations to do that?
Well, Wikipedia says, and he brings up a good question, like, what's up with Harley Davidson? Anyway, I heard that they're in trouble. America manufactured motorcycles, and it's like, yeah, Harley Davidson was an American manufacturing company. Here's the thing. Supply and demand happened. A lot of the new motorcycles coming out from Harley Davidson have been produced overseas.
Yeah, that's why Harley Davidson's going out of business, by the way. Because, people who bought Harleys bought made in America, and they knew what they were buying, and they were paying the price tag for that. Now they're paying that price tag at foreign market, and the company's just taking, instead of using it here, building it here, and using that money to pay a person here, they're taking that, putting that extra money that they save by producing it overseas and putting it in their pocket.
Yeah.
Now that's on them. Because the American public is like, nope, we're not gonna. Who buys a Harley? Someone wants something that's made in America, made with quality, and then also know that the person who built it got a fair wage.
Let me also point out that some of these gig websites like Fiverr, Etsy, Moonlighting, all that other stuff have been taken over by the Chinese because they can sit there and charge exorbitant amounts less for the same type of skill and labor as it would take to make for an American to make it here. So I can't sell a logo for even a basic one for $25 here because there's a Chinaman somewhere, or a Taiwanese or Indian who's willing to do it for $3.50
for 50 of them.
And that's where you get into contract labor and stuff too.
No, but you know what they do? The Taiwanese or the Indians or the Chinese use basically logo generators, or they have libraries of clip art to pull from, whereas somebody like me is sitting here going, I will make it from scratch.
I'm surprised Rogue hasn't jumped in yet.
It's probably busy doing stuff.
Yeah, probably.
But no, that's that comes down to contract labor too in the U.S. It's cheaper for contractors to hire labor from like immigrants with green cards and stuff like that, because, or even at times illegally, because they can pay them a lot less for the average American worker for minimum wage. And it sucks, but at the end of the day, some of the average American people do it to themselves because there are a lot of Americans who are just fucking lazy. I know of a lot of them at my job. There's some people get paid close to what I get paid, but do maybe a quarter of the work or a quarter of what they're supposed to do. And
so what we have here is not so much of a disagreement on labor pricing as we do with work ethic.
Yeah.
And the expectation of value.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, that's kind of goes back on what I was saying about contract labor. So a contractor gets hired in to build a building. So usually when they get hired in to build a building, they're on a set budget. Okay, we need to build this building for this much, and this is how long we have to do it.
Yeah, they bid for it.
Yeah. And a lot of times with regular help and workers, like I said, depends on the person. They could just take the time, not care. They're just there to collect a paycheck. They're getting paid good, so it's no skin off their back if they go slow. It's no skin off their back. It's not their name that's on the line. So they just go through and do whatever, and they become lazy, and they don't get the job done as quickly. However, that same contractor can go to a bunch of Mexicans that will work hard, work fast because they want the money, and I'm not going to say they're skilled workers, but they're workers that will get the job fast and how they want it, and pay them cheaper. And a lot of times that's kind of what it comes down to. I mean, but you got to look at yourself. Whose fault is that? Is that the lazy American person that gets paid minimum wage but doesn't put the work and effort in? Is it the Mexicans' fault because they're trying to make ends meet in which way they can? They'll break their fucking backs to make $1. Or is it the contractor's fault, trying to fulfill a contract that they have obligated and try to turn around and make a profit from it so they can go on and do the next contract and make the business succeed?
It's a combination of all three. It's a combination of all three because they kind of all feed into each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
But
it's like
I mean,
any field. Because I'll tell you this much, I break my fucking back at work. I'll jump around and I'll walk on 4 or 5 trucks at the same time trying to get them diagnosed. But there's other people that will come in and do the same job I'm doing, and they either don't diagnose it correctly, they go in the completely opposite direction, they take more stuff apart than what they have to, or they just take so freaking long to do it. I'm not the fastest at removing transmissions and installing them in a truck, but I know I can do it within 12 hours. There was one truck I know I worked on last week, and it took me 5 hours to drop the transmission after I diagnosed it. It took me 3 hours to diagnose it, so I've had about 8 hours total in it. And I had it dropped at lunch, and I was going through and prepping everything up, replacing the main on the engine, resurfacing the flywheel, replacing the input shaft on the transmission, and had all that done, and gave it to the next ship to do. And the only thing they had to do was install the flywheel, install the clutch, install the transmission, hook everything back up. So it took me 8 hours to do all that. Theoretically, since they don't have to diagnose it, and all the prep work's done, it should take them about 5 hours total to install that transmission, get it bolted back up, get the truck down the road. So 8 hours in it, hand it off. Truck is still in the shop the next day with 25 hours on the ticket, still not done. And that's what I deal with on a daily basis.
They just didn't want to finish your work, or
just don't want to do it. So a couple of people we have hired in is the kids getting paid a large amount to work on trucks that don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're there to collect a paycheck. They're not a tradesman. They're not a skilled worker. They got the job. Oh, it's just fixing trucks. It's no big deal. And they don't hustle. They don't put work into it. And at the end of the day, yeah, it took me 8 hours to drop the transmission and get it prepped and ready to put back in. But at the end of the day, that affects me and that hurts me in my efficiency. Because, okay, this is a job that will take, we bill 16 hours for the type of transmission we're working on. So 16 hours, truck comes in the shop, diagnosed, dropped, replaced, put back in, out on the road again, 25 hours into the truck. 3 different people working on it, including myself. At the end of the day, that affects my efficiency and reflects poorly on me, because even though I did my job correctly, I did my job fast, because of the other 2 yahoos that worked on the truck, I had to come back and finish it. My efficiency now dips down below 70% because of what they did on that truck.
What it sounds like to me is your boss needs to reevaluate why it's taking them as long, if not longer, to put something back in when you've done most of the labor for it already.
And that's being done. Here's the problem. There's no efficient way to correct it, because in order to do it, you have to have replacements. You have to have people to be able to take their spot whenever, if it comes down to, okay, they're not a good fit for the job. They're not a good fit for the job. The best thing you can do is, like, I hate to say it, but like in a machine, if you have a faulty component in a machine, you replace it. You gotta replace them. The problem is you have to have people to be able to replace them. If you don't have them, you kind of have to deal with it. And we're at a point right now, we have 30 trucks waiting to get in the shop. It is a 8-bay shop. With on day shift, we have 5-6 mechanics on day shift. We have 30 trucks waiting to get into the shop. It's not in our best interest to remove someone and take away from that working force. Even though they may not be skilled enough, and even though they may or may not fix the job correctly.
Yeah, because I know that it's no mechanic work, but I know that at my job, I'm expected to get X amount of orders completed in any particular day. With the exception and understanding that an order can have either 1 or 2 line items to work on, different design. When I say items, it's different designs, or could have upwards of 20 different line items or designs to work on.
Yeah.
So there have been times where...
Time out. I've got to do this just because... just because somebody's in the chat.
Fuck you, that's how.
Hello, Cadent.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay, well, I gotta go and pick up food, so I will see you guys later.
Okay,
See you,
we'll
Jen.
wrap this up in about 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go.
But so I'm expected to complete X amount of jobs, and I'm the only designer with a backup designer who sits across from me, but his main job is to do a lot of printing of what I designed. I have to sit there and I have to review. Most of the orders that I get are repeats of, like, okay, we've done a series of directory signs, we're just replacing a directory name. So the design is basically already done. But I have where I do wall wraps or vehicle wraps or new signage that requires me to do more than just design. I have to figure out square footage because we have to prepare permit information for the city. I have to sit there and figure out, okay, if all I have is this picture and I have a measurement of this window, how does this building scale out so that I can appropriately represent the design on this to scale kind of thing. And there's a lot of work that goes into it, but I'm still expected to complete my jobs in a particular time frame. And if I don't communicate to my management, hey, I'm working on this, it's going to take me X amount of time to work on it. Do you want me to work on these other 2 things that I could get down real quick because the customer's expecting them, and then come back to this, or keep working on this? Is if I don't communicate this information, that I'm not performing my job as I should, so that we can be as efficient as possible.
Yeah. Well, it's let me kind of roll back into like my job, and I'll give an example of like a warranty job that I might do. So the basic one that I can think of off the top of my head would be, let's say, a NOx sensor replacement, a nitrous oxide sensor replacement. They're very basic, and they're prone to going out. And so, and the truck's under warranty. So if the truck comes in and it's under warranty, the way our shop works it is when you come in, we guarantee we're going to get your truck in and at least give you an idea of where to go with the truck within 2 hours of you checking in. So within somebody coming into the shop, checking in, we got to have somebody come out, plug into the truck, pull codes and stuff like that to kind of give them a baseline. Okay, this is what we're looking at. This may or may not be the time scale depending on how things go and we actually start working on it. So truck comes in, it has NOx sensor codes for, let's say, the outlet NOx sensor. Depending on what engine it is, if it's a Cummins engine, it's very difficult because they don't have self-diagnostic tests. On the Pacors, they actually have a self-diagnostic test that makes it so much simpler. But no, I have to go in, and the first thing I gotta do is I gotta hook up to the truck with my computer, and I gotta get downloads off the engine. I gotta get serial numbers, hours, the code, how many times when it popped, all this stuff, software. I gotta get all that downloaded and put onto the case for it. And then I got 2 or 3 sheets of paperwork to fill out to go through for warranty. Once I get done that, then I can get down into diagnostics. Now, with a basic sensor like that, it's ran off J1939 network, and it's real easy to fix because it's a 4-wire sensor. You have a 12-volt power, you have a ground, and then you have the 2-wire J1939 communications. So it's really easy to go through the troubleshooting, and if you go through the troubleshooting, and that's what warranty wants, they want all the steps of troubleshooting followed. If you go through the steps and you do everything that they want, and you get down to the end conclusion, it could take anything from about 3 to 4 hours to fully diagnose that sensor in a Packard, but you only get paid an hour and a half for the whole job. That's what warranty will pay. They will not pay any more than that. So when you're dealing with warranty, you're dealing with cut times that you can't get billed because, okay, it took us 10 hours to figure this issue out, submit it to warranty, there you go. It took you 10 hours, well, warranty only pays this is all we're going to pay. So we have 8.5 hours that is just up in nowhere now that we can't get paid for. That affects efficiency. With me, I've dealt with that sensor, I've dealt with that code enough times, I know what to do. I don't go through the troubleshooting steps. And I usually do what's called pencil whipping it. So I'll fill out the troubleshooting to get me to the point of, okay, this is what I need to do. And I know with that sensor, if I got 12 volts, if I got ground, and I got a good J1939 connection, it's most likely the sensor. Cummins, it's usually a gamble. I can go, okay, it's most likely the sensor if it keeps throwing this code. But there's a couple more things I can do just to kind of narrow it down if it's not something else in the engine or in the after treatment. Packard, I'll do the same thing, run the diagnostics, and it gives me a pass or fail. And then afterwards, I'll go through, finish up my troubleshooting, finish up my paperwork, replace the sensor, put it through a test, go on test drive, and usually I can be done with it in about 2 hours. Everyone else that gets it, probably 4 or 5, just depending how the diagnostics go. But that's the difference too between people that know what they're doing, skilled laborers that try to actually honor the trade that they're working for. It's a job, they take pride in it, and they look at it as badge or merit towards them of getting trucks finished efficiently and quickly compared to somebody comes in just trying to draw a paycheck. They have no idea what they're doing. And usually what ends up happening is I'll get on those types of jobs after somebody else has already tried to diagnose it, tried to work on it, and there'll be 10, 12 hours on it, and I get on the job and I'll finish in about 2-3 hours, depending on how much stuff that they took apart or if they messed anything up, anything like that. And that's basically how my job goes. So I try to stay over as much as possible, and I try to walk as much as possible to get those jobs first, to get them diagnosed and go, okay, if I can get diagnosed and get down to a repair plan of, okay, this is what's wrong, all the warranty stuff's taken care of, it needs this component, I can go on to the next truck, diagnose it, they can give that to one of the mechanics, they can fix it, put it for the tests, and go, okay, it's working, or there's something else came back. That's what I try to do, but a lot of times it doesn't happen that way.
Understandable. Like with mine, I know that we don't have the best computers at work. It took a long time and complaining to get my boss to even upgrade the computer I was using. But my coworker uses definitely a lesser powerhouse than I do. So I know that if I'm working with large graphics and I'm having difficulty opening up the file, or it takes a while for the file to open, he's going to have even a harder time, or his computer's just going to crash. So it's not technically my job to start doing the prep work for printing, but I know that if I'm having trouble, it's going to end up coming back to me anyways, or he's going to want to switch desks. Yeah. Now, the problem with switching desks so that he can open something to get it prepped for printing and me going to his desk is, again,
it affects you.
It affects me, and my setup is not the same as his. My setup on my computer is designed for my efficiency, just as his is set up for his efficiency.
Or it's just not set up at all at times for people.
Right. So I do the best that I can to help mitigate some of that issue. But I have to keep my bosses informed, hey, this is what I'm doing because of X, Y, and Z is going to be an issue down the line. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's taking more time out of my day to do it, but I know that it's going to make it an easier time on the printer. The only problem is that if something goes wrong that I'm trying to account for, or I sometimes try to account for, if something goes wrong with the print, then they come back to me because I was the one who set it up.
Yeah. And that's 9 times out of 10, that's generally what usually happens to me. It's like I was talking to one of our district head honchos. He the diagnostic coordinator. We usually, if we have issues on a truck, we need help or guidance or extra troubleshooting or a way to go with them, I usually contact him, and he's usually over about 30 different facilities that we own. And one of the things that I was talking to him on the other day is like, hey, I've got this issue. You got any ideas to help me, get down the line? And it's like, really? And he just sounded real frustrated. And it's like, what's wrong? And it's like, what is it with your shop? Your shop is the only one that I get all these weird issues from. No, I don't get these weird issues from any other shop. What is it with your shop? And that's because our shop, we have made a reputation for ourselves. And that's another thing, too.
That sounds like ours, but I'll tell you that story in a moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's the thing. I can go, you know what, it's not my fucking problem. I'm going to do my job and my job alone and just worry about me. But at the end of the day, it affects the shop. So it doesn't matter if I'm good. It doesn't matter if I'm top notch. It doesn't matter if I have no comebacks at all. All my job, all my work is perfect. Well, in a perfect world, it would be usually like 95%. But I can have no comebacks at all. But if there's 2 or 3 people that's constantly screwing up, it might affect them, but at the end of the day, it will also affect the shop, because when it comes to drivers and companies and stuff like that, they don't look at, okay, well, this mechanic at this shop, it's this shop. They look at the company as a whole to blame, not just individual people.
Right.
So, at the end of the day, I try to go above and beyond to make it as streamlined as possible with stuff I'm working on. And I try to get to, okay, this is what you need to do on this is what you need to do on this, and this is what you need to do on this, to make it streamlined enough to where they can get fixed, walking out the shop, and not come back with any more issues. Because that reflects onto our shop. Hey, this shop is really good. They figured out a problem several other shops could not figure out. And that's what I try to strive for in my job. And that's where you get that, like from my diagnostic coordinator going, I've never heard anyone else in any of these other shops have these issues, because usually they get sent to us. They throw their hands up, it's like, we can't figure it out, send it down the road, because they don't want to deal with the loss in time, the trouble in trying to get covered in warranty, all the labor it's going to take to go through and figure out. They don't want to deal with that. They want to go in and make money, so they're putting off on someone else.
Right. My shop had garnered a reputation over the last 2.5 years because of a flatbed printing machine that the owners had purchased from HP. I had started there about a month after they had made this purchase. And I came in while they were having problems with this flatbed. And they've had problems ever since. It would never be the same issue twice. The heads are raised too far up. That's why a print is printing blurry too much. There's clog in the line for the white ink that has to be purged. There's something wrong with the sensor for the other heads not firing. Oh, there's something wrong with the motherboard. It got fried because too much voltage. Oh, there was never the same problem. And there will be always a problem once a week, if not twice a month, that we would have to constantly put in calls to our headquarters, to HP, etc. And HP didn't want to admit that they sold us a lemon, which is fair. No manufacturer ever wants to admit that. But we're sitting here going, we've even had problems where we'll have 2 of the same exact thing printing side by side to each other. Not one right after the other, side by side. And one would come out darker than the other. How the fuck does that happen? Like, the color variations from one week to the next would be so wild. We would try to set up profiles so that we could hit the same exact colors that we did prior for a different job to print for the same job, and they would never be the same, ever. So then our guy would have to stop and take 4 hours out of his day to, yes, Hewlett-Packard HP, would have to take 4 or 5 hours out of his day just to drain the inks to make sure that there's no backup of the line, to run diagnostics before he even called HP and our headquarters, because they would tell him to do that anyways. So he's like, I've been through this, I have these numbers back, I did this, now what? Because I'm having this problem now. It wasn't, long story short, we developed a reputation for addressing all of these issues, and HP would come back to us going, you guys are like the only shop in this area that have ever had not only any issues like this, but this quantity of issues in such a short amount of time. So finally, they decide to replace the machine with a refurbished one, and we're all sitting going, You might want to give us a new one because we don't trust refurbished. But to their credit, they had a professional team come in, rebuild everything back up from top to bottom, or I should say bottom to top. And this one works as if it's brand new. It works as if this is how it was always supposed to be. We've only ever had to call in for one issue since we got it back at the end of October, and that was because there was a miscolor calibration issue when it was first reinstalled. Have never had any issues prior to that. In fact, there's things that we can do with this same used, newer machine that we couldn't do before with the other machine because of all the complications. There's colors that we're able to match that we weren't able to do before. Anyways, that's part one of my story. Part two is, because I'm the only designer, the way that our shop is set up, and I'm trying to dissect this, I'm trying to disassociate this from where I've worked at other places, because you never work at the same place, no matter where you go.
No. You have the same issues, but it's never the same place.
Right, exactly. What does the machine print, by the way? You could put like acrylics, you could put aluminum, you could put dye bond, you could put PVC, you could even put vinyls on it. It's a printer that has a roller that advances the material forward through the feeder, and it will print on the material that you feed through it. So like foam board. We haven't anything else that we would do, like banners and stuff like that. That's all done off of the other printer. So anything that's usually like a flat, usually long material, instead of having to print it on vinyl and then apply it to the material, you just print to the material directly. It sounds easy when the machine actually works properly. My coworker who sits across from me, he's like, I can't believe we haven't been that. I can't believe how successful we've been this past year with as many problems as we've had to deal with the other printer, because he's like, this new printer, when I don't have to stop 4 or 5 hours out of my day 2 to 3 times a week to try to fix something, I can get all my shit done. I can get all my work done. I love it. And I was like, good man. Anyways, with my particular job, and then we'll wrap up the show after I finish ranting my story.
Well, I mean, it also depends if Samaj has anything that he wants to put in.
Isn't Samaj muted and deafened? Or he was?
No, I was. Well, I mean, I kept going in and outside. I had to do things. But,
okay.
No, I just haven't been chiming in because I got nothing to say in this regard. You guys just talking work and shop. Like, I mean, you want to talk about coronavirus and... Okay.
No, it's and that's how I feel sometimes when you guys go off on tangents on Star Wars and stuff. It's like, yeah, I really can't talk as Star Wars as in depth as you guys can. I just have no much interest in it. So, dun sitting in the back here for the twiddling that comes. Anyways.
Yeah, well, on these topics, I don't have anything. I was going to say something about coronavirus because I thought this was funny. I'm so surprised how many people still don't know anything about this. Because I have a friend, she works in childcare, and one of the kids or her parents have decided not to let the kids go to daycare, and it's a fear of this coronavirus thing. And it was the first time she heard about it. She didn't know anything about it, so because she doesn't know, and she knows I do nothing but listen to the news and other stuff, calls me up, and I'm telling her about stuff. And it's all horrifying and scary. And then I tell her about the internet meme of Corona-chan. She's instantly hooked up on that. And it's like, I forget all this horror stuff. Who is this Corona-chan? And I show her pictures, and she goes on this huge tangent about how cute the character is, how this is this. It's like, so when am I going to make a Corona-chan print? I'm like, I don't think I can make a print of that. If I take that to conventions, I think they'll kick me out.
Hey, you know what? You can sell it online, and you got a person who can send it to a print shop right here.
Fair enough. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just do it that way because, like, no one's.
Is that what you posted in the Discord?
In the Discord, that's something separate but related because we were talking about bat related stuff and just doing something funny with it, and then I thought, well, what if we did like picture of like a Batgirl in like a bowl of soup and stuff.
Oh no! Yeah, but that's just it. Is like it's in order for some people to get past the horrible, you have to make humor out of it.
Well, and that's where the Corona-chan thing comes in there, and I thought that's kind of cool. And that, like, in the main chat there on Discord, I posted a picture of a doodle I did of Batgirl, but and so we started. This is a separate note, but which is what I've been given a nickname. And I'll tell you what my nickname is on these other Discord chats. But I was asking because we were talking about Batgirl as I was doodling this, and I asked them, well, which one do they think is hotter, or which one do you do you think is attractive? Do you like the Batgirl when she just as Batgirl, or when she got crippled and was then called Oracle? And of course, I'm in a room full of shit posters, and they're all saying like, we like the cripple. We like it when she couldn't move her leg. Like I like Batgirl when her legs are so messed up I can turn them into a pretzel, a swastika if I wanted to. And then that's when they start going. Then they were like, you have to do this. You have to put Batgirl in a swastika leg pose. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. So then they've been harassing me. It's like, do it, swastika legs, Batgirl, swastika legs. So now my nickname is swastika legs on these other.
God
like,
damn it!
Wow. I keep telling them I'm not going to do it. And then they're like, okay, how much money? Because you know how much money. I'm like, dude, that's a career-ending picture. If you're going to make me, if I'm going to do that, you better pay my rent. At least. So like raise at least like, I don't know, 500. Maybe we'll start talking. So then they started talking about raising a GoFundMe. Like, well, we can't call it swastika legs.
Oh, why not? Because Arms Girl, apparently somebody made swastika Arms Girl.
And that could be. Well, then they're starting to say, well, we'll call it help the artist fund, and then we'll shill it out. He'll do a live stream, and then we'll shock everyone as he starts turning those legs into swastikas. Like, no, don't do that. I'm going to come in with a different name and just be anonymous. I'll be Mr. Peabody if I have to. I'm not fucking putting my name on there.
Anyways, let me finish up my story and let's get the fuck out of here.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't worry about it. It's cool. It's stories. That's why we're here to share. Because sharing is caring. So, what is it? For my job, the part of the problem that I run into on a daily basis ends up being that the vast majority of the correctness of an order falls down onto me. The girls at front who write up the order and give it to me, it doesn't matter if they wrote something wrong. If there's some kind of note in there of what it's supposed to be and the girls wrote it wrong, it's my job to cross-reference and coordinate the information that's provided, like site notes and stuff like that, to what's on the order. And if I ever have any questions, to bring it up then. Like, okay. And then it needs to be basically, the way that my coworker would like it is that everything needs to be print ready by the time it gets approved. Well, the reality of it is sometimes it can't always be print ready when it goes into the proofing stage, because I've had instances where I will set something up for being print ready, but then a client comes back with 5, 6, 7 revisions, and having spent the time making all of them print ready is just wasted accumulative time. So I have to negotiate, okay, let me do it the shortcut way, present what the customer is asking for, and then once it's approved, then make it print ready because now it's finalized. You know what I mean? So I've had to balance that with my coworker. And then the girls are supposed to check what I do to make sure that it matches the information on their invoices. But again, if their invoices are incorrect and I didn't cross-reference to the site notes and all that other stuff and ask clarifying questions, it comes back to me as having an error, I need to fix it. Or they overlook it because sometimes we're human too and we overlook things, and it gets past them and it gets sent to the client. We've had instances where the girls miss it, I miss it, the client misses it, the print person misses it, the builders miss it, and it's installed wrong. So you go through 6 different stages of what's supposed to be everybody helping to check each other to make sure everything is correct, and it could be blatantly written on the invoice, and nobody checked it. Everybody just assumed they thought it was right based on what they saw versus what they read. It's like, okay, so if everything hinges on me to make sure that it gets proofed correctly, assuming that the client is not paying attention to what is being shown to them, because some of them, they get it and without even opening, they just go approved kind of thing. It's like, shit. So then what's the point of proofing if they're just going to reply back with approved? I have to sit there and take a little bit longer to make sure that I cross-reference all of this information. And I mean to a T. So I've started to make my own design notes pages that I don't have to use for every single order, because like I said, about 70% of the stuff that we do is repeat stuff. Just directory strips and new tenant name kind of thing. So I don't have to keep doing this over and over again. But for unique stuff like wall wraps, channel letters that go up on buildings, for monument signs, for anything that's outside of our normal scope, I usually pull out a piece of paper for my design notes, and I start cross-referencing the information on the invoice to the site notes, and I'm trying to make sure that I read everything and I write everything down. My boss comes up to me and she goes, "Why are you doing this for every single order?" It's like, and she always asks questions in a rhetorical fashion, but she still expects an answer. So when I try to tell her, I'm trying to make sure that the information that is provided to me is clear. Oh, so you don't know how to read an invoice? It's like, and I'm not trying to throw the girls up at front under a bus. So I'm like, no, that's not it. I'm trying to make sure that I'm reviewing everything. Oh, so you don't know how to read? I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying. So now I have to have a short 10-15 minute meeting as to why I'm rewriting everything down on the invoice. And I'm like, if it helps me double check myself as I'm designing it, why should it matter that I'm rewriting the information that's provided to me, especially if for whatever reason the information is actually not correct or not provided on the invoice? It's just like channel letters. Okay, what kind of channel letters? Now I have to go and look at the design, the site notes of what the other boss put on there, because sometimes they'll have like option 1, this kind of description, option 2, and it's helping me reinforce what I'm reading to what I'm writing, kind of thing. Like his handwriting can be a little hard to read sometimes, so if I'm forcing myself to look at it and rewrite it, this allows me to go, okay, what questions do I have that I can have answered now before we go further down the line and something becomes an issue? Yeah. If it's helping me, why is this a problem? Yes, it forces me to stop and take a little bit longer per job, if that's the case. But does that not save us time and energy and not have to worry about rework? Correct.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like the same issue I got to deal with at my job. So it's a very simple process when you come into the shop. Driver will come in, he has an issue, he talks to the service writer, and he explains the issue to the service writer. This is what it's doing, this is what's happening, stuff like that. Writes up the ticket, he signs it, he gives them the keys, and he either goes home or goes to the motel, or he goes upstairs, just depending on, what it's going to be and what we're looking at. And I'll get the ticket, and the ticket will say, check engine light. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Check engine lights. Or another classic one, light out. And I'll come up, and they don't write anything down on the invoice. They listen to the driver. Okay. It's a simple issue and stuff like that. It's light out, and they'll quickly write it up on the work order. It's light out, and then it gets passed down to us. We get the truck in. We look at it. Light out. Okay. Look at the invoice right out. Truck has light out. What light? Is it a headlight? Is it a tail light? Is it a marker light? Is it a turn light? Is it a dash light? Is it a cab light? Is it a bunk light? Is it a sleeper light? What light?
A light.
It's like light out. And I was a smart ass one day too. She'd been there for about a couple months. She's no longer there, but she was there for a couple months. She wrote that up on a ticket. And I came up to her and it's like, so you talked to this driver? Yeah, I talked to the driver. They explained to you what light's out? And it's like, yeah, he explained it. It's like, okay, what is it? Oh, I put it on the ticket. You put light out. Yeah, it's a light. What light? Well, figure it out.
And I'm sorry. I love some of my coworkers, but I get that same shit too. Like, design tenant panels. Okay, which tenant panels? It's on the order. It's like, but we have a double-sided monument. So which side? Because it could actually affect the alignment of the text. We'll figure it out. What was the last one we done? It's like, you're supposed to provide the last reference of what we've done. Do you think I sit here and memorize everything that we do?
Yeah. And that's the thing, is they're supposed to go through, and there's a questionnaire that's supposed to write out, all right, so what's the issue? This is the issue. When did it happen? This is when it happened. How many times did it happen? What was the conditions when this happened? There's a list of questions that's supposed to go through and answer, and supposed to detail orient to get to us to make our jobs a lot easier and simpler, because at the end of the day, they just get paid to write up tickets. They're not being based off of efficiency. They just open and close tickets and pay bills. That's all they do.
Yes, and as much as go ahead, sorry.
And then we're judged upon okay, we have to be efficient. We have to get this done quickly. We have to fix the issue. We have to make sure it doesn't come back with the same issue again. So it's really supposed to be up to them to give us the information we need to be able to work the job. So we'll not have to go upstairs or call the driver. Yeah. So I'm looking at the ticket. It says you got to check engine light. So what's happening? What's going on with it? And a lot of times we'll get, I explained to the girl up front what was going on, and it's like, well, I'm just verifying, because I can't say, well, to go up front and then put down the ticket. I can't go through and do that, because then that makes us look bad, so I gotta go through, I'm just verifying some stuff here, make it easier, just a couple questions.
Yeah, sometimes when I get a job, it's, okay, here's the description of what we're doing, but then further details, it'll say C notes or C email. It's like, what notes? What email? Sometimes there won't even be any notes or anything in the jacket. I'm like, where's this information? Oh my god, I have to go and look through the old site notes. It's like, well, when you tell me C notes, I expect there to be notes in the jacket.
Yeah.
Or
see, I'm a jackass at work. I'm a real jackass at work, because there's another truck that was like, check engine light, truck's broke. Okay. I went down, and luckily enough, I was able to go through and fix in about 2 hours. And when I get done with it, I wrote on the ticket, fix truck. And I gave it back to them, and they came up to me, and it's like, well, I can't bill it like this because I don't know what you did to the truck. And it's like, yeah. Well, I didn't know what was wrong with the truck. I had to figure it out, so figure it out. And I piss a lot of people off in high ups of my job, but being there 6 or 7 years, they kind of expect it, especially when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, see, unfortunately, I can't do that as much as I would like to, because if I show any sass back, I get in trouble. So there's other times where it's like information, basic product description, see artwork, or client provided artwork. I go and I look at the folder where they're supposed to put all of that stuff, and it's not saved. And I'm sitting here going, how many times how many times? It's easily a 2 to 3 ratio at this point that I'll go look and the artwork's not provided. And I sit here and I go, I specifically, on some of my stuff that I do, because I'm paranoid like that, when they ask me to provide like router files so that our router guy can do his cutting and everything, to make sure that I put the file in his folder, I sit there and I end up opening it and resaving it, and I write down the timestamp of when it was saved on the jacket. Or I'll copy and paste, and I'll make sure it's in there so that when I do the search, it's in there, and then I'll write the timestamp of when I was able to search it.
That's a good habit to get into, and that's
apparently it's only failed me like twice out of the 30 times that I've done it, or so, because either I don't know what happens, and I'm not accusing anybody of deleting anything or doing anything. It's just I'll have written a timestamp on the jacket, but for some reason the file still does not appear in the folder for the guy. So I'm like, okay, maybe there was a weird... sometimes when you hit Control-Z on your keyboard while you're in the Finder, it'll undo the last thing that you copied or moved. It's like, okay, fine. Something happened. I'll go do it. But then I get yelled at as if I'm always fucking up. I'm sitting here going... But I do this as a way to help check myself that I did my work.
Yeah. And,
there is an allowable margin of error here that we have to consider. Not saying that not that it's acceptable for everybody to do, but we're only human.
Yeah. And probably about time to start winding this down.
Yeah. So there's an insight into apparently Sparkys and my jobs.
Yeah, yeah. I don't mind going into it, but then we get people like Winslow. Why are we still here just listening just to suffer? It's like, deal with it.
Well, I mean, Winslow, there's the door. You see that little X up in the top of your right-hand window? You could always push that if you don't want to listen. But, you're always welcome to stay and listen, and if you find us musing about our issues is what entertains you.
Read, nigga! Read!
Jim Max.
Welcome back,
God damn, you guys said 10 minutes and it's been a half an hour. I just got back.
But but no, it's like that's one of the reasons for the show. It's like we talk about anything and everything, especially stuff that happens IRL, because we don't mind talking about it. And that's like I said, that's just some of the stuff I've got to deal with. Sounds like
Sparky is a joke.
it's all good. It's all good.
Real life stuff is sometimes just a factor of things to talk about. Like you guys as a future family.
Yeah. So, but Wesley, Winslow, this is all I gotta say.
Sir, I know this may finish me as an acting ensign, but
shut up, Wesley.
No.
Just messing with you. Just messing with you.
No,
but no,
right.
Lookity.
Wesley?
Shut up, Wesley.
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 Okay.
Shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley.
Okay. Stop.
Apparently,
it's loud.
Apparently says a long goodbye situation.
I don't that high.
Actually, it was kind of high.
Oh God, I got set my mic lower, I guess.
But no, there is a question I was going to answer in chat because Winslow does ask, how did you come up with your name, Sparky Set Corner? And I'll go into that story slightly
on another stream.
And then we'll call it end. So whenever I was going through my channel and building it, I was going through and watching a lot of tech videos. I constantly watch Game Tech. It's ran by Jason. He used to do. He doesn't do anymore. Probably maybe every now and then. repair videos on like old Nintendo consoles and stuff like that. And watching shows like that, Jay's 2 Cents, Lewis Rossman is a big one I was watching. I wanted to do some of this tech stuff, and that's, like I said, this channel was primarily supposed to be a tech-based channel, but it's kind of gone away from that into a different aspect. That's why I'm trying to work on 2 different channels for like truck repair, game console modding repair, or just circuit board repair, and then this channel for like gaming and talking to my friends and all that good stuff. So when I was coming up with the name, it's like I need a good name. But I didn't want to go through and, dox myself, so I had to have a good name. My nickname is Sparky, so it's like I'll just utilize the nickname Sparky for my channel. But I've got to have something to relate to what I'm going to be doing, so tech-based stuff. So I know I'm going to be working on electronics and stuff like that, so I can't label it as like a game console or, stereo computer repair. So what would incorporate that is like
tech.
So Sparky's Tech. And it's like, okay, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. So thinking about it for a bit, I was bouncing ideas off of Captain Hook. And it's like, well, why don't you just have it like she was watching something else, and it was something corner. I can't remember the name of it. And it's like, well, why don't you do this? And it's like, Sparky's Tech Corner. And I sit there and mold it over for about 2 or 3 weeks. And it's like, I actually kind of like it. So I'll go with it and we'll see what happens. And it's stuck ever since.
It sounds like a discount repair shop down the street.
I do not have a cat named Mr. Clinton. I do not. That's a Lewis Rossman explicit right there. So
I just took my first name and did it backwards.
Oh, nice. So now you doxed yourself. Thank you.
Well, I mean, people have already figured that one out. Well, some people did. I'm still surprised at how many people don't figure that out.
Okay, how many?
Well, every now and then I get at least like 2 or 3 people. Now, granted, I mean, now I'm on smaller streams, so I don't get new viewers all the time. But new people, like old people, come in there. They figure it out. If you've been around to know what my name means, then yeah, you figured it out.
Yeah, and Panina is just part of my Hebrew name, so.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I forgot you're a Jew.
I'm a dirty Jew.
You're a Jew. Oh my God, yeah.
Actually, the way that happened was, I've actually had Panita for a long time, since like 2005. I had just started playing World of Warcraft, and I was like, I need to come up for a name for myself. Okay, Panina sounds good, and it's half of my Hebrew name. Sure. And then I'll name one of my other characters the other half of my Hebrew name. But then I just always played as Panina. So when I started doing the internet stuff, that's just what I went by.
Too Jewish.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, I could have always went with something like from my second first name. I could have just said Rodney. Like from Stargate or something. But it's like, nah, I'll do something else.
Well, my parents were hippies and they named me Jem.
Jeff. Shut up, Jeff.
Jem.
Oh, Jem. I thought you said Jem. Alright, never mind.
So okay. Jem is your real name. Jem is his name.
Sort of. But it's part of my name, we'll just say. But yeah.
What's the other part?
Max.
Yeah. Can I get you to dox yourself live on air?
No, Gemstar, actually, so yeah. Well, we saw how that
went. By the way, don't go and look up Gemstar on Instagram.
Oh God, how bad is it?
It's bad.
I think we need to start to close out now.
Oh, no, I have to look at this now. So, God, it's the same as it's just there's more of it. There's oh, that girl outfit doesn't fit me the way it used to. Oh. Oh, that's just bad.
And just like that, you're going to get another strike.
Nah. Actually, no, this one hasn't had no strikes on it so far.
Oh, really? You mean you just got like a warning when you played the Iron Man theme song?
No, actually, no. It's not
You know what to do with that big fat butt. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Shut up. But no, that's how I ended up coming up with the name Sparky's Tech Corner. And I've got it so incorporated with everything I do, so it's like now it's hard trying to incorporate the same synonyms with like. Okay, so well, like truck repair. I'm gonna do a channel on truck repair, going over different components of a truck. So how do I do that? Sparky's Truck Repair. Affiliated with Sparky's Tech Corner.
Sparky's Truck Garage or something like that. Sparky's Garage. There you go.
Let's get them flagged by the FBI real quick here.
And you guys are muted. Yeah. Alright, now
He muted us.
Yeah, I did.
You naughty, naughty boy.
I had the mouse hovered underneath the mute button on OBS, so as soon as it comes out, I just mute it. But
bitch, get out the way.
But no, I'm hoping once I get everything situated and all that good stuff, I'll get some more videos. Like I'm wanting to actually video the repair of the valve cover gasket on my Explorer and put on that channel. But I'm still trying to work out, okay, how am I gonna do this? It's like, because it's gonna be about an 8-hour job. Maybe
all
10
these
hours.
squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle. All these.
So it's like, do I live stream it? Okay, I live stream it. How am I gonna live stream it? I don't want to live stream it on my phone because then I gotta stop and find a way to set the phone up and then drain the battery and all that good shit on the phone. It's like, okay, I don't want to drive my fucking streaming equipment out into the fucking garage. So it's like, okay, how am I gonna do this?
What you could do,
I'm probably just gonna have to record it and then edit it down.
You can stream if you have a GoPro. I don't know if you have one.
I don't.
If you have a friend that has a GoPro, hook it up to you.
I'm not. I've heard bad things about the streaming on the GoPro, and it sucks.
Yeah.
If I could get a GoPro, there's something I want to do. See, in my city, we have the largest flat earther community in the world, and they have conventions and all that stuff. And I thought I want to go one of these, get a GoPro, and just film. And I have a few other of my fellow Canadians like, let's just do that. And then I thought, well, what if I live stream with my phone? I could try that. But you need like a certain amount of followers to stream from your phone.
You don't. You don't.
Well, I tried yesterday, and it wouldn't do it.
No. There's a way you can get around it, and this is how I do it.
You mean the Streamlabs?
Yes.
Yeah.
The only thing you gotta do is download the Streamlabs app, tie it to your YouTube channel, and it basically treats it as like streaming from OBS. Because when you try to use it from YouTube, it locks you out on your phone, streaming straight to YouTube because of the followers and stuff like that. But if you go through and use Streamlabs, YouTube doesn't know the difference if you're streaming from a phone or you're streaming from a computer.
All right. I'll tell you what. I'll download Streamlabs right now, and I might play with that. So if you see me streaming later, well, there you go.
Yeah, and it works perfectly good. You just gotta set your settings accordingly to your.
I gotta mute myself, so if you're gonna close up the stream, have a good night, everybody. But you don't have to do it just because I said I have to mute myself.
I know. Well, as soon as I get done talking to Samaj, we'll be ending. But yeah, you just set it down to like depending on the cell service in the area, or if you have access to Wi-Fi, 1080p and 720 is actually pretty good. It doesn't have that much of a delay. And we'll bring up the comments up on Streamlabs, so you'll be able to view the comments as it comes up. And the only bad thing is I don't think once you start streaming, you can't flip the camera. I believe that's still no. I think you can flip the camera. I don't know. It's been a while since I actually streamed from it, but I've done it a couple times on the phone and it works. I just don't like the idea of streaming from my phone a long repair like that, because I'll get to walkie on it, but I can't respond to anything because I can't just look over at the computer screen and see what's up on the computer screen. I've actually got to stop and go around and look at the phone. And it doesn't allow you to scroll up on comments, I believe. So you'll miss a lot of interaction if there is any. So I think what I'm going to do is just record and edit. I've got a good enough camera to be able to do it. It's just the editing. I've kind of gotten away from editing videos because I've got one more Super Mario World video I've got to get up. I'll be done with all the Sparky and Starwind videos. And Starwind's been bugging me, so when are we gonna do more games? When are we gonna do more stuff like that? It's as soon as I get the studio set back up to where it's presentable, and as soon as I've got time, because he lives now 22 miles away from me. In order to do those Sparky and Starwind videos, I have to bring him to me, which it's not that big of a deal to on Mondays go by, because I can take a different way home. I can stop by his house, pick him up, and then bring him here. The problem is once we get done, then I have to take him back and then come back here.
Yeah.
So it's working out the logistics for that one's. I still haven't figured out what to do yet.
Okay, I've downloaded Streamlabs app. I will play with that later today, probably.
Okay.
If I set time. So we'll see. Who knows? For all you know, I'll be streaming later.
Yeah. Honestly, I haven't had any issues from it. It works pretty good for me.
All right. Well, if I start streaming, okay, there we go. We'll see.
Cool.
Maybe people will donate money. I don't know. I don't know how that's works. Streamlabs does that thing.
I don't even have it set up on the app. I don't know if it's tied to my Streamlabs account or not. I don't think I've received money from Streamlabs while streaming on my phone, so I have no idea how that works, actually.
I don't know either. I
just know that's how I get around YouTube's. You can't stream from mobile unless you're up to this many subscribers and stuff like that. Bullshit.
Yeah, that's so fucking annoying. It's just let me do something with I'm sure there might be a logistic reason, but I don't know. Anyway, we should probably close out.
Yeah, we should. So thank you for everyone for joining. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. You can go check out GNF Network. You'll be able to find the Canadian Rogue, Panina Chan, Drakenf, Nemo, and myself on there. You can see all the stuff that we all do on that. Go check out Samaj, especially on his YouTube if he streams today. Go say hi to him. Go check out some of his artwork. Say hi on Twitter and all that other good stuff. And same with Jim Max. Jim Max is here every week, and I thank him for that. And hopefully within the next month, we'll be starting Mechanic Tuesdays back up. So I'm hoping he'll join us for that one, because they're going to be streamed live on Tuesdays. And we're going to be doing the Gundam Origin Saga starting off. So we're going to go through all 6 of the movies. All 6 of the movies, live stream and talk about them. So with that, I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything else today. I've been contemplating, picking up Mega Man Legends 2 again and going through it. I might do that tonight. I might not. I don't know. It just depends on how I feel. And if I'm free tomorrow, I will be doing stuff with Rogue and Penn and Jim Max on the gaming stuff. So with that, everyone have a good Saturday. Everyone have a good Sunday, and see you guys on the next one.
The Holocaust Museum? Leave that be. No one will deny what we did.
Fuck you, Jim Max.
This is waiting for it. Hand on the trigger.
No, actually, he said I just brought it up ready as soon as he said we're already closed down. I was like, oh, all right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.